Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, in all ears listening, welcome back to the 301 Outlet Podcast. And we are continuing with the wave, we're continuing with the flow. We got two wonderful guests, two brothers of the pod, guys that I've not seen in a minute, and it's gonna be fun to, chop it up with them. Big Su and Ari. Say it was good to the people, y'all.
Hey guys, as they said, my name is Big Sue or
Big
Big.
Su!
Yeah.
Big Su,
Shoulda,
my man!
shoulda done, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen or heard from you guys in ages, dog. Like I've just been busy with work and all that. Hell,
What's
even
up, y'all? What's up?
Mhm.
I completely understand, but man, life makes you busy.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
first official business. We're gonna knock out the heavy sports out of the way. Then we're gonna dive into more of the casual topics. We have a
Mhm.
breaking news headline literally happened today, and I just want to hear the guys that know about it to talk about it. So, if you guys know what happened with Rachel Nichols. The whole thing where she was kind of just being, yeah. I'm not gonna talk too much about that, but now she has been fired by ESPN and removed from all NBA programming. They've also canceled the show that she hosted called The Jump. It was a popular talk show where she'll host it. She'll have former NBA players like Scottie Pippen was on there, Tracy McGrady was on there, and it was kind
Everybody
of
on
cool.
there.
I'm not even about to hold you. It was
Yeah, it
kind of cool.
was
I
though.
actually enjoyed the jumps on some occasions
Same.
because they weren't freaking just saying hot. The only time they would just piss me off is when
Yeah.
Kendrick Perkins was on
Yeah.
there.
Kendrick Perkins, he pisses you off anywhere he is, but he, that's just Perkins, man.
Crazy. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I just want to know y'all take on the whole Rachel Nichols firing and how the jump going off to there, how that would just impact sports journalism as a whole and sports media. Because if I'm gonna be honest with you, sports media is at an all time low, y'all. Like
Low.
ESPN, they're losing viewers. They can't even
Mm-hmm.
grab viewers. They
You know,
literally it's so
it's funny
crazy.
you say that because I saw on Twitter where it's like someone said that they rather like listen to podcasts and like YouTube shows than like look at actual sports shows on TV. You know what? I'm not even surprised because because lately a lot of some of these sports talk shows we've been seeing like a lot of people been getting on First Take because they feel as though it's just like they're losing credibility when it comes to sources. But as of Rachel Nichols, I'm not really surprised this happened. I kind of had a feeling it might happen eventually because ESPN, they're known as like if you're in like some deep controversy like Rachel Nichols is in, after a while they let you go. We've seen it with journalists or like they just end up going to another network. So really, I'm not even going to speak back on it because I said what I had to say about the situation in general, but I'm just not surprised it happened. And it was just, I guess it's time to move on. Is want
Right.
that, I guess, image, that energy still there, the times we're in and everything, sensitive times and stuff like that. Granted, it was like recorded, but like she should have watched what she said. But yeah, they just don't want that energy just probably present or have to deal with that with first on the air. So I'm pretty sure she'll probably end up getting an opportunity somewhere else. But I'm not surprised. Yeah,
And before
it is what it
anyone
is. I
else
mean,
goes, also Max Kellerman is going to be removed from First Take.
I heard
For
about that too.
All
Yeah.
right. So
I think
that's
yeah,
another thing.
so
I think
basically,
Max is. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
all
Evan,
right.
go
So
ahead, and
so
then Darren will
basically,
go.
basically, when it comes to this Rachel Nichols stuff, notice how at the height of the controversy, she didn't get fired. But now,
Right.
after everything's died down, now she gets the boot and her show gets canceled. Like she don't get transferred to another show; her show gets canceled.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that so that so that suggests that there is
Oh,
probably
they had to
more.
ride on
There's
that cloud.
there's probably more going on behind the scenes that we don't know about yet. That's as
Always.
far as Rachel Nichols. But then when it comes to ESPN, there's two problems when it comes to this regard. Number one, they're more focused on hiring sports personalities like former players and
Hmm.
not necessarily journalists. And that's number like so you have like less credibility when it comes to
No,
reporting on like
Analytics.
free agency signings and like stats and all that. So like less credibility with reporting there. And that leads me into my next point. ESPN don't care about credibility. ESPN don't care about credibility. The only thing they care about is how many hot takes can you say in a 5-minute segment. Like, if you're going to work at ESPN these days, pretty much every word out your mouth has to be a hot take.
I noticed that.
Like,
it's like some of the hot
it
takes
has
are
to-
so unnecessary. I've been noticing that, and it's so annoying. I see why people get annoyed with first take and Stephen A, man.
And I'm gonna tie in. One of y'all said that like some people said they prefer listening to podcasts when it comes to sports versus stations like ESPN, and that's because podcasts like us, 301 Outlet, it's like we have our hot takes every now and then. Like we'll say some things that you ain't expecting, but there's a time in you use hot takes in moderation. Like those should be like you say 1 or 2 every episode, not 2 to 3 every 5-minute segment. No. Because it's like, and at the end of the day, it's okay to say something that somebody else has said before. Like, because if we see the same thing, and not just in sports, but with any topic, if we see the same thing, then we're gonna call it the same way. We're gonna say the same stuff about it, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But apparently ESPN just forgot that part. So yeah.
I agree, though. I really agree.
I got it. Well, for one, I kind of want to apologize for the noise because I'm at the Orioles game. I'm actually broadcasting from an Orioles game, and it got loud because Anthony Santander just hit another home run off Shohei Ohtani.
Good
Jesus. And that means he's given up 2 home runs in the first inning, although the first inning just ended. But anyways, all I have to say about it is that's just what happens when you show who you really are, and you start making like these little Rachel comments, bro. It's what she gets. I love Rachel Nichols. I love the jump, but it's what she deserves, you know. I hope that they can find another NBA show that's just as good as that show. And with Max Kellerman leaving First Take, I heard it's because they want him doing other things. Like I think he's gonna go back on radio. He's gonna have more.
Yeah, they want him on the morning radio show.
Yeah, like I think he's gonna be
Makes
doing
sense.
the show with Jay Williams and Keyshawn Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but that's good for Max. But what I want to see, and what I heard, like I saw a little post about it, that it was gonna be Michael Irvin.
Oh hell no!
Stephen A. Smith.
Hell no!
I want
Molly could not take that. Molly
No.
I want that.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't want that. Because if you're going to do a show like First Take, you got to know football. Yes, they're going to talk. Yes, they talk about football, but they also talk about basketball. They talk about baseball every now and then, and they've been known to talk about hockey, and they talk about fighting sports too, like combat sports, like boxing, UFC. So you got to know about you got to know about all of these different sports. Now, Michael Irvin, I trust his football knowledge because he used to play the sport, but the knowledge of the other, does he know basketball? Does he know fighting? Does he know these other sports?
Hold on. One mic.
My bad. Well, the Michael Irvin podcast, he has different, he has football players, basketball players, and he's had UFC fighters. So I think he would be good. But I'm just thinking of it like off an entertainment standpoint, just him and Stephen A. going back and forth, especially when they start talking about the Cowboys.
I feel as though that get played out after a while. All that screaming was just like, bro, it's just too much after a while. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I see why people find it annoying. Sometimes it's just like, all right, bro, is all the screaming really necessary? It's like, we get it, bro. You're loud. That'd be way too much screaming. That's why I'm like, Molly Quorum could not handle that at all. She will probably end up leaving the show too. Like, seriously, behind the scenes, bro, she'd probably be blown. Talk to the producer, like how annoying.
I'm surprised she's still there, honestly. I think
she'd be getting mad and annoyed.
I think she's a horrible. She's a horrible moderator. Like, in terms of what her job is, like, she's supposed to be the one that really, it's not about her voice, but she has to be able to manage the two egos. It's like, it's a debate show. She's the person that'll be like,
she got her own ego too.
That's what I'm about to say.
She got her own ego too.
She's the person that's supposed to be like, all right, calm down, relax.
See, Carrie Champion was perfect.
But she has her own ego. She has her own, bravado that, I have to say something after, but that's not what your job calls for. Stay
She tries to
in
give
your
like her 2 cents.
lane.
It's
Stay
like,
in
you
your
know,
lane.
sometimes.
And it's like,
And then
bro,
causes more sparks and more debate, gets to Stephen A. and Matt Kellerman more riled up.
and
And
it's
then she
like,
has to
bro,
like take sides. I'm like, bro, she's like instigate. Sometimes she like instigates the like take, but then
and
she
it's
tries
like,
to end it. She has
yeah,
to move on. I'm like,
of course.
but you like did it to yourself. I just be laughing. I'm like, this show, the producer probably gonna heat it.
Of
I
course,
already
dog.
know.
And it's like half the like every basketball segment, like is either unbearable or borderline unbearable because you know it's gonna get to a point where Max, Steven, Max, Steven, and Holly all turn into Knicks fans. Like they all just like you don't know when it's gonna happen. You don't know when it's gonna happen, but you know it will. Some point in that show, they all just turn into Knicks
or not
fans.
New York Knicks fans, but New York fans. We word that.
No. They've all been fanboying and fangirling out over the Knicks at several points.
I mean, mind you, I'll take your point.
Yeah, they don't fanboy over the Nets. Yeah, they don't fanboy over the Nets though. No, I get what you're saying. They don't fanboy over Brooklyn.
They fanboy over the Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't fanboy over Brooklyn like that at all. They speak more negative about them if anything. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. They have too much optimism at the Knicks just because they had that little hot streak. As like, I can understand, but it's just like don't cite them. They talking about something. Oh, they could be like, you know, possible, you know, conference, you know, like no, just stop. Like Knicks, they're good and better,
but what do you expect though? They're all New Yorkers, all three of them.
Right. That's why I'm not even surprised by that. I don't even really mind that. That doesn't really bother me because like when you have 3 people on the show that's from the same place, that team is gonna get brought up at some point. So that doesn't really shock me. Like I said, the episodes I've seen, they've not really been like Knicks fans. They've just been New York fans, other than the Nets, of course, because you already know the Nets have that negative media stigma because they have KD, Kyrie, and James Harden on the same team. But they're 3 of the most controversial and polarizing players in the league. So it's understandable why they don't talk about the Nets. But they do have like a New York fangirl issue.
The Nets do have a reputation of being like the little brother team in New York, but like we can get back to like what you was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Oh no, I mean, of course, it's just like how it's the Lakers and the Clippers. The Clippers are the little brother in the basement trying to come out, and the Lakers like, no, he's staying down there, bro. Like it's basically the same parallel. And the Nets they don't have a really good history of winning. You know, yeah, they've been to like
have a good history of stars.
Yeah, they've been to the finals a couple of times, but they were going to the finals in the Eastern Conference that was basically dry bones. See, people have very interesting memory because people clown the Eastern Conference of the 2010s. The Eastern Conference of the early 2000s
wasn't all that good because LeBron wasn't in his prime.
Like
yet.
before the Pistons started coming up, you know, the mid 2000s, like 04 to the end of the 2000s, from basically the time MJ retired all the way up to let's say 99 to 2003 ish, the East was a joke.
Yeah, like 1999.
Like
it
was literally a joke. Like the Nets were a 52-win team, and they were the first seed in the conference.
That says a lot. The fact that it's the Nets out of all East teams, though. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's like the Nets. All they really had was like they really didn't have, you know, big stars. You know, bro, they still was good, bro.
Right. The 99 finals was a Knicks 8 seed.
Like,
and they were legit the best team because it was a lockout season. A lot of players came in.
That's what I mean by like this kind of.
A lot of players came in. Now you good. A lot of players came in. They were out of shape, and the Knicks was really the only true team that kind of were finding a way to get back together. And Patrick Ewing was injured. They weren't even at full strength.
Yeah.
And they
that's
made
when
Patrick
Ewing was like kind of exactly.
And in 2000, who makes it to 5 from the East? The Pacers. You think the Pacers are gonna stop Kobe and Shaq?
Nope. No. That's when Kobe was on his three-peat. That's when Kobe was like literally unstoppable.
Think about it. 2001, 02, 03. Who made it to the finals? The Nets. And they were barely a 50-win team. They were like 50 to 52 wins, which is good. But they were the top seed in the East.
Top seed. That means that other seed.
Like there was teams making the playoffs that didn't even have winning records. Remember, we made that joke about that. There was teams go to the playoffs, win the 37 games.
Yeah, under 500. It's crazy.
Like, come on now. Like that's a genuine weak East. That is trash. So that's the point I was even gonna get to. Yeah, the Nets really don't have a culture of winning. They really have been a team that's been truly mediocre. Let's just call it as it is. So,
Like
of
I
course,
guess
that's why they're not gonna talk about him. Like I
Jason, yeah,
said,
Jason Kidd was like one of the best things that happened to the Nets, really back in the 2000s. Really, the best thing.
and crazy how they had Vince Carter at one time too.
Yeah, exactly. Vince Carter too.
And they didn't even go anywhere with that team.
Do
That's
anything?
what's so
Yeah,
crazy
exactly.
about it.
That team was actually tough and didn't do anything with Vince Carter. That's when they had the best roster, really, when they should have did something. Sure.
But yeah, like I'm not even surprised at like their New York fandom. It's like basically if you put three dudes from DC on a sports show team, the Washington football team. Sorry, Evan, I didn't mean to dislike your team. The Washington football team is gonna come up. The Wizards are gonna come up.
Yeah.
The Nationals are gonna come up. It's just common sense because you have three guys
It's like a culture
that are
thing.
all from the same place, and especially when it comes to the DMV, we are very like enwrenched in our sports. Like, of course, we have people that are team, fans of all sports of all over. Like, we have Lakers fans,
I'd be
Chicago
happy when the
fans,
Wizards win.
all that. But when it comes to like our area, we go hard for our teams.
I'm rocking the Wizards jersey right now. Michael
So,
Jordan Wizards jersey.
yeah,
So, as we speak, that's the
fine.
ironic part. Like, yeah, I like really though. That is true. I
Right,
really
exactly.
do like when the Wizards win. That's the ironic part. It's like I'm saying that as a Philly fan, but it's just like, yeah, I do support the Wizards though.
Yeah.
I don't mind seeing them win. I was like, okay, that's
Like, yeah,
lit.
basically,
Shoot.
we all
It's
know
just like I have to. It's
if
the
the
area.
Wizards won a championship, we'd all be there.
Oh, it'd be,
We'd all
bro. You
be
know how
there.
crazy? You thought the hockey, bro. The fact that you thought that the hockey and baseball was crazy. People the whole time came up for that. Even football, basketball. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a madhouse.
We all
Like,
be there. We all be there happy
yeah,
as hell. So, but anyway, back to McBooker. We kind of did really diverge off the point. So,
yeah.
the problem with sports media nowadays is just like Evan said, they're hiring, these former players that played in the sport, and their knowledge is very valuable. But the problem is ESPN, they don't care about that. They don't care about credibility. They don't care about using and tapping into the true potential of these former players. They want you to say what gets clicks, retweets, likes, and attention.
Mhm.
That's what they want. They don't want you to give actual good content, to literally be like, oh yeah, he broke that down and said it in a way that, I never thought about it like that. No, they want to say the most ludicrous thing they could think of and just throw money at them. Don't care about credibility. That's why ESPN is going down and Fox is even though Fox, even the sports media in general is going down, Fox is kind of staying stable because even though FS1 Undisputed is just I don't watch it either. I would pick FS1 over First Take. And the thing about Molly, I'm gonna go by that. If Molly was actually smart, she would do what Joy Taylor did. Because Joy Taylor didn't want to be a moderator. She didn't want her voice to be silenced. She wanted to be on the show on the platform where she could say her own perspective. She could say it
Mhm.
in a manner that makes sense and as a respectable manner, but she can also debate if needed to be and show her wits. So she left FS1 and now is with what's this man's name? Jesus Christ, I forget this man's name. I was just thinking about this man. Off, I'm forgetting this man's name on the air. I'm gonna have to cut this part off. But now she's on a show where she can talk and say her perspective. If Molly was smarter, she would do that. But let's get off this point because we're gonna talk about this one. So, literally 2 days ago, Monday, was the 10-year anniversary of the earthquake that happened in this area. I want to have everyone kind of take a deep dive into perspective and think back. Where were you when it happened? And
I
whoever wants to
remember
go first,
exactly where I
oh,
was.
Ari, go
I'll
first.
let
So
y'all go
I'm
first.
gonna say the
Go
order.
ahead, Ari.
I'm gonna say the order: Ari, Mark, Evan, Sue, Darien. That's the order. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ari.
Nah, I remember exactly where I was. I remember I was in middle school and I was chilling, not doing nothing. And we had a freaking Irish teacher, and we sitting in there, and so the building starts shaking. We're thinking it's a cart or something in the hallway. We're like, yo, this is aggressive. And then slowly, it starts shaking more and more and more. The windows start opening out of the middle school thing. It was so crazy because, like, Maryland don't get, the DMV area doesn't get earthquakes at all. And you could tell that the planning or the emergency protocol for all that was not put in place because my teacher didn't know what to do and was just like astonished on the fact that it's a real earthquake. I'm sitting here confused because at that point I barely know how to spell earthquake. Goddamn, and I'm just here shaking. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Just crazy.
Interesting. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting how younger you are to me because I was in. I'm not gonna tell the story, but I was in 10th grade when that happened. So say that.
Yeah,
All
for
right,
sure. I'm a
bet.
young boy.
Yeah, so I remember I was in ninth grade when it happened. My freshman year of high school, I was actually at Fordsville, one of the only I went to actually Suitland too. But yeah, I remember I was in gym class, my last class of the day.
I love how you put that in there.
Yeah, I had to like slip that in, But yeah, my last class of the day, man, sitting in the gym, basketball gym, just everyone's chilling, talking. What like the teacher is just chilling and talking. All of a sudden, the bleachers just start shaking out of nowhere. I thought somebody was like playing around, but it's like literally the whole set of bleachers just start like rumbling. We didn't know what the hell was going on. We get up fast as hell. We like dart out the door and everything, just outside, confused as hell. That was like the first wave. Because remember when the first earthquake happened, it was like 2 waves and everything. Everything started shaking again. So we were just like confused and everything and realized, yo, did we just get an earthquake? So it came to us is that, yo, we got hit with an earthquake. Didn't really see too much damage. We kind of like sort of went back inside at first because like everything calmed down, wasn't as bad. But then like literally a couple minutes later, shit just starts like shaking again and everything. I was like, oh yeah, we got to get the hell out. It was like an actual earthquake. And like, yeah, that's when like that wave started going a little bit longer and we saw like the damage, it was doing or whatever. So it was just like, damn, we really got hit with an earthquake. We're all just outside. Pretty basically the day was over. We were all confused. You didn't know, like most people didn't even know how to even get home. We didn't know if buses were even still pulling up, if buses were still coming through. I forgot how we even got home that day because I did ride the bus, but I think I did end up I don't know if I could even use my phone because I think a lot of the phone lines were even down too because everyone was trying to like call each other. So the reception was bad at some point. So people couldn't even like reach out to their parents or like their loved ones or nothing like that. It was just crazy. And I did actually get picked up. Yeah, I do. I remember I did get picked up actually. And I remember going on my street. You just see like stuff just like damage in the earthquake, like stuff out of place. It's like, golly, you saw like the damage you saw. They did it here in Maryland. It's like state of Maryland. It's like in my lifetime, I never seen nothing like that, and it's very rare over here. So shoot, people over in Cali's like, that's nothing. We deal with this almost every day, every other week. But yeah, it's like that was big because that earthquake. I think it went. It's not just Maryland got it. It vibrated up to like I think like went all the way over to like I think towards the Midwest a little bit. I remember. So
Yeah,
it was like a big,
literally
like,
not
fault
only
line.
the
Yeah.
DMV
I remember it
region,
went all
it
the way
was
up to
the whole
Canada.
East
Yeah.
Coast. It was like
Yup,
our whole
the
section of East Coast.
Yup.
Yeah.
So we got like the least of it. Other areas got it worse too. I think like up north, up further north is when they got it the most. Yeah. So I'm just happy like just about everybody was okay during that earthquake because it definitely did damage to like businesses and everything and like small businesses and stores in general. It was crazy. That was some crazy times. And it took we're out of school for like kind of like a week just about after that earthquake. And yeah, so it was some crazy weather like during that time. Mother Nature was on some stuff a decade ago.
All right. So basically, what happened with me was I was in my last class of the day, second day of high school at the annex. So then my class was kind of like in the back of the building. So the ground starts shaking. And at first we think it's like a truck or something coming in the back. But then it keeps shaking and then it gets like a little bit harder. And then we look around the room, we're like, oh my God, it's an earthquake. So, but like we wasn't really like panicking or nothing like that. We just kind of like speed walked outside. And then I remember I'm standing outside the building. I'm going, damn, my second day of high school, and we get a fucking earthquake. Yo, take me back to Tasker. I'm not about this life. I'm not about this life, my God. Take me back to Tasker.
No facts.
This man said I'm not about that life. I'm dead. And mind you, what makes it fun, that annex building old as a motherfucker.
It is though.
Holy shit.
It is.
Like I'm just like I can only imagine.
All them narrow ass staircases, them small ass
especially
doors.
the one that's by the cafeteria where you got to go down towards the gym for that damn.
The fucking ghetto.
Yo, if anyone of y'all
Yeah.
listening from the Bowie area, y'all know the
that's a
NA,
dangerous
them
situation right there.
stairs used to be decrepit, bro.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Like, bro, whenever there
Nah,
was
let
a
me tell
fight, bro, anytime there was a fight on those stairs, it was calamity because like
The whole
nobody
joint
could
just
go
like started
anywhere.
rumbling. nah, Mo. And I remember
Yeah.
the next day, like I had a teacher, she was from Cali. She said, man, this earthquake was nothing. I almost cussed her out on the spot. I'm like, are you out in my mind? I'm like, are you out your rabbit ass mind?
That would be
Ain't
funny,
nothing.
bro. What the fuck? Like you gonna say
ain't
that?
nothing.
Like
Hold
people
on,
saw
hold
their
on, hold
life
on.
flash for their eyes.
Ain't nothing. First of all, you from Cali. You used to this. The earth is not like we over in Maryland. Since the earth is not supposed to be shaking here. We ain't on no damn
Yeah,
fault
that's how
line.
you
The
know
earth is
something
not
wrong.
supposed to be shaking.
Right.
We don't got active volcanoes
We
around
over here
here.
thinking the world ending this shit, and you just over there sipping a martini. The hell is wrong with you?
Got her legs up on the table, just chilling, right with her legs crossed. Like, yeah, this is nothing, bro. I just see worse than this. Funny as hell.
See, look, now look, when y'all get a damn hurricane, and I'm over here looking at like it ain't nothing. It's like now you know what started it. Now you know the events that had triggered the events.
Yeah, Cali might remember what to do with no damn hurricane. That would be different.
Yeah, go ahead, Sue.
Nah, but seriously, I love my Cali people. I love y'all.
Funny as hell.
I was in middle school when this shit happened. I was in the library with my class.
Oh, not the library. Not the
Dog.
library. Oh my goodness.
Dog, we were Here's the funny thing, right? We were minding our own business, like we were acting, like everything was all cool and shit, and then like all of a sudden, like we hear like this big ass sound. I'm thinking, oh, it's a bunch of people running and shit in the hallway, but like in actuality, it was just an earthquake. So like everybody in that library was just like literally like went under a table and shit, and then after that, everybody was in a panic. Everybody started running around saying, "What the fuck we gonna do? What the fuck we gonna do?" I tried calling my parents, and like no reception whatsoever. Like all I just heard was static and shit. I was like, "Bruh, how am I going? How am I going to get home?" But I did get home eventually, and then like I saw it on the news. Everybody was talking about it and shit. It was a wild day. Dude, it was a wild ass day, bro. That's all.
That's hilarious. I'm sorry. When you said library, you know what I thought about, bro? I thought about like the thing that starts shaking. You just see books just flying over.
Yeah, exactly.
Duncan doing the Matrix. Oh,
Yeah, facts, my facts.
that's literally what I started dying laughing. I was like, what? Like you just see everything just flying off. She's like, whoa.
The books,
like,
the cases and shit.
yeah. You just see that
Yeah,
just like moving out of place. You were like, what the heck is going
Like
on?
shit.
Hey yo. Oh my goodness.
It's a dangerous situation where
That's
under
what I'm
the table
saying.
is
That's what I was like, oh
supposed to
my
be.
god. I'm glad this man's super. Oh
Could've
my,
You would have got
that
smacked
day,
in the
bro.
head with a book, bro.
oh my goodness.
Imagine Shakespeare hitting that boy in the nugget. That's crazy.
Right back at you looking at. Oh my goodness. But Darien, are you able to speak, sir?
Yeah.
Are you at the game? All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Bro.
Shohei's at bad that he just swung at another bad pitch, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Yikes.
But I was in like Evan. I was in my last class at the annex in my freshman year of high school, and my class was in the music room. And
Shout out to Mr. Law.
yeah, Mr. Law was talking, and I just heard some shaking, and I was like, "Oh, okay," because where the room is where like the horseshoe is for the buses. So when I heard the shaking, I thought it was just the buses because because I had Mr. Law was my last class on both days. So yeah, and so the first day, like the room shook when the buses came. So I was like, okay. And Shohei Ohtani just struck out again.
I heard it.
Acting like he the
Yikes.
Japanese Tiger Woods.
Yikes.
Exactly what you said too. Acting like he the Japanese Tiger Woods, bro. But so the building, so so the building kept shaking, and it just kept on going. And then like I heard a crack, crack. I said, "Oh no, we in an earthquake, bro." And then like everyone just like started panicking. I'm just standing there like, all right, so how the hell we gonna get out of here? Like, what we gotta do? We gotta get under a table. Like, we gotta, like, what we gotta do? So everyone just started walking out. And as we're walking out, everyone's just like, yo, what the hell is going on here? What the hell? I'm just laughing, bro. I'm thinking this shit is hilarious. I'm just like, okay. Like,
Oh man,
Freaking psychopath.
hey,
man.
shut up.
I remember
Shut up.
this day so vividly. It's crazy, bro. And I remember when it happened too. It was between 1:50 and 2 p.m. I remember the time because I was in French class. It was my 10th grade year, second day of the 10th grade year, sophomore year. I'm fresh out of the annex. I'm thinking, oh yeah, the main building. It's different, different. And this is how much I remember that day. I remember right before my French class, I ended up meeting with the girl I was cool with. Shout out to Dawn. I think she watches the podcast. If she don't, still shout out to her. But we was talking, just linking up, having after not seeing each other all summer. So I go in French class, right? And mind you, Gideon was in this class. So I know Gideon, you're listening. And you're gonna laugh at this when I say this story, bro. So we're literally sitting down, mind our own business, doing whatever, right? And then literally, we just feel like it's a bunch of people running. Like we're thinking, oh, it's a fight outside. Somebody about to get their jaw dropped because if you've been to Bowie, the temps are like literally right by the track. They're right by the
That's
field.
facts.
They're right there. Like it's literally walking distance. You just walk the other way and walk by where they have the
Uh-huh.
little baseball thing, the little sit out, and you're right there. You're literally
Uh-huh.
right there by the bleachers. So we're thinking, oh, somebody done ran outside. Somebody about to get jumped. It's crazy. And then they keep shaking. And then what makes this day so funny, bruh, the teacher realized just opened the door and walked out, right? So we are walking out confused, like, well, okay, what's going on? And then literally we walk out and we just see mass hysteria. Like we just see people losing their minds, running around. We're like, what is going on? Like I was just very confused. It was like if you've ever imagined, you walking out in like an apocalyptic movie, you see the world's just turned to shit. You're like, what the fuck happened? Like like literally, we were just standing there so confused. And so come to find out, we find out it's an earthquake. Everybody's trying to call people, text people. Nobody's phone's working. This is back when we didn't know. Oh yeah, earthquake affects cell towers and knocks it out of balance. Now we know that now, but we were young and dumbasses, so we didn't know that. So everybody's freaking out. Which they're telling us to gather by the freaking track and field. Nah, but everybody's running around, walking around, trying to figure what the hell's going on. Literally nobody's listening to anybody. Teachers is just saying, "Fuck it, we just about to dip." Like it's fucking crazy. Like it was so much mass hysteria. Nobody knew what was going on. We were standing outside for like maybe a good, like an hour, 30, 40 minutes. We were down there for a long time. Like if it was an actual earthquake, we all would have been fucked. like, like literally. If it was like, because what we got was like a 5.5, 5.4. Yeah, that's what we got. So if it had been like a 7 or 7.2, bro, we would have been fucked. We would not. I would
Yeah,
not
bro.
be here today.
All them old ass Glenarden buildings would have been a wrap.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you already know. Oh my goodness, but the annex would have been a rap itself. That annex would have been one of the first buildings I went out there. Oh my goodness,
Disintegration.
that joke would have been crazy. But yeah, like, and then we get home. Everybody. This is back when Facebook was the hot thing. Wasn't Instagram. Twitter was in its infancy. Like Twitter had just popped up. People weren't really using. People were confused by it. So everyone's on Facebook just going crazy. Like, oh my god, what? It was an earthquake. Everyone okay? Blah, 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 blah. It was just crazy. It was just a day full of pandemonium. And I can't. And the reason why I remember this day so well, I actually have like the house we're in actually got structural damage from that earthquake. Like our back deck literally bent, like literally bent. Like there was a crack in it. I was like, oh fuck, because I used to go out there, to sit around, as a young kid, to go out there and start looking to the sunset, whatever. I literally walked out and opened the door, and I saw that crack. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So that's how I remember that day so well, man. That day, it was crazy. The first time in literally like maybe what 20, 30 years we had an earthquake. It was that was a crazy day, man. just glad to say that there wasn't a lot of heavy casualties that day. People weren't nobody freaking like died. I think some people got hurt a little bit, but that was it. Thank God for that. So moving on to the next one. We just celebrated Kobe's birthday yesterday. We just lost him about a year and a few months ago. What does Kobe mean to you? And obviously, I'm wearing his jersey, so I'll just go first and knock it out of the way. Um, Rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in peace to his daughter. Rest in peace to the other unfortunate members of other families that died on that plane. That was a day, man. That was the day everything went still. Like, luckily, the Royal Rumble made my day better. But if it wasn't for the Royal Rumble, man, I think I would have been in tears that day because I literally remember what happened when I found out. I didn't even believe it. I was at church. Church had just finished, and I literally sat in my car, deadpan, not talking to no one, blank stared, nothing, just complete and utter shock of what I'm hearing. I'm like, what? Kobe? Really? Like I didn't even believe it at first until Forbes came. I'm like, oh shit, is that actually fucking real? And I went on all the news stations talking. I was like, oh shit, this is not a joke. Oh my god, because LeBron had just passed up Kobe in scoring literally the day before, the night before they faced Philly. The Lakers had faced Philly, and LeBron had just passed him up in scoring, and we was all talking about it. And even Kobe himself, he gave a congratulations to Kobe about it, literally right when it happened. So that's what makes it so crazy. And I was thinking about Kobe because I was thinking LeBron's gonna break that record pretty soon. He's coming up on that number. And just think about him, how he was dedicating himself to women's sports, women basketball. His daughter was gonna be a phenomenal woman hooper, female hooper. That's a woman hooper, weird lingo. Female hooper. So it's just like we were already like recently think about him in this next chapter of life he was about to do, and then to lose him like that, it was just crazy. So what Kobe means to me is he was the hardest worker. He was the guy that wanted it more than anything, and he put us all into everything he did. He did not accept. He didn't. It's not like he was scared of failure, but Kobe was definitely the type of guy where you could fall down and he would inspire you to get back up and keep chasing, keep aspiring your dreams, and that there's nothing impossible for you to do. As long as you can imagine it, if you can see it, you can make it possible. He truly instilled this recent mentality I've been having ever since he died of going at it, pressure, keep pushing, keep pushing until the goal is finished. And even when it's hard, even when you feel down, you keep going and aspiring for the best possible. And you don't settle for anything less. So, do you guys have anything that you guys want to say about what Kobe meant to you?
Yeah,
And go
yeah,
ahead, Darien.
yeah.
I guess I'll go first. When I heard the news that Kobe and her daughter passed away and all those members, I couldn't believe it because it's like Kobe, like out of all the people, like no, I shouldn't say that in an offensive way, but like it was just very shocking to hear because it was like as a person that doesn't even watch sports like that, like Kobe was a very inspirational person. Like that man worked hard. He worked his ass off for that everything he did, especially when it came to basketball. Like throughout the years he's been playing, I should say he was probably like the one of the greatest players of all time. Like you will see him hustle, you will see him grind through, and like and I feel like if he had and I feel like if he for some reason still had the energy to keep going, still had the energy to keep pushing himself, I I just didn't see him retiring from basketball, like in general. I just didn't see him retiring at all. That's how much of a hard worker he was. Hell, like I even made like a small music video about Kobe because like that's how much of an inspiration he was towards me and towards everybody. Like again, I don't even watch sports like that. I don't watch basketball like that. The only sports I really watch is pretty much wrestling. But like, yeah, what Kobe means to me is like he's like a hard worker and he keeps pushing and he keeps pushing to be the best person that he is. And I think And I think, yeah, he's a really hard worker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, but I like you saying, for like when I found out what happened, like I didn't know what was going on. Like I remember I had that Sunday morning I had gone to Georgetown Waterfront. I was dealing with some stuff. So whenever I like going through it, I just go down to Georgetown. I'm sitting by the river, and I look in the group chat, and um our old friend Kelsey, she texted in on the group chat. She was like, Darian, did you hear what happened to Kobe? And I was like, LeBron just passed like the day before. Like, I'm not mad about it. If that's what you're talking about. Like, I haven't heard anything else. And then my other man's was I'm like, oh no, he doesn't know what happened. So I'm like, what are y'all talking about? And I kind of go off my phone, and then I go into another group chat, and I kind of blindly see an article, but I didn't really read it. But it said something about Kobe, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then my friend calls me, but I don't answer. So I'm kind of just like, all right, what's going on? And then I get the notification saying that Kobe was in a helicopter crash. And at that point, I'm driving home. And when I tell you, like, I literally lost my sense of direction because I was just so distraught. And I remember I called my dad, and I was like, is this real? And my dad couldn't even get the words out. He was like, yeah. And I just bawled, bro, because Kobe is my freaking idol. Like everything that I did, like in sports and like in basketball, like Kobe was the reason for all of it. So when I found out about it, like I was just teary, like I was crying all the way home. And like I remember I got home, and my mom said that she was going out, so she had called my girlfriend at the time to like keep me company. Bro, like I couldn't talk. I didn't want to do nothing. I just sat there, bro. Like I I couldn't smile. It was hard for me to laugh. Like, and it was like everywhere you went, there was stuff about Kobe. It was Kobe this, Kobe that. Like I didn't even want to get on Twitter, bro. It was just so bad. But I really felt bad, like when I heard that, like, because you remember how like it was like all these reports about how it was the whole family, like not just Gigi, it was Bianca, Natalia, Vanessa, and then it changed to like Gigi and Rick Fox was on there, and then the actual reports came out about who was actually on the helicopter, and it just breaks my heart, just even think about it, because even now it still does not feel real. Like it doesn't. Like I watch Kobe highlights and I'm like, it still feels like Kobe's here, but he's not, and it's crazy. But what kind of just made me feel better about it and just gave me some solace and peace is like just how the whole basketball and Lakers community, like they all got together and we all just kind of like helped each other cope. But then in October, the Lakers won the championship, and it just made me feel so good, man.
Yeah, I remember. For sure. Let me think. I think. Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Who's next? Ari, go ahead. Ari, go ahead. Because you kind of talk first. Ari and then Mark and then Evan.
All right. Yeah, no, but what does Kobe mean to me? I think it's interesting, like piggybacking off of what Big Su said. It's kind of like, because growing up, I never really watched sports like that. I didn't get into sports until like I was older. You know what I mean? And then I was playing the sports games. So then I started to watch the sports really. And I just think, speaking on his passing, like, it was crazy because that's one of them people that you're just like, man, like, that dude gonna live forever. Because it's just like, what? It's like I've been saying, it's Kobe. And I think, like, it's still fresh in my mind when that dude, like Tory the kid, he's still, you know what I'm saying? Like, busted up, still hitting the free throws when everybody else would have just sat out. And all the injuries that he had and all other people would have just sat out and retired, and Kobe just powered through it. And, like, I think it says a lot for somebody like me, or the reach of one individual, when, you know what I'm saying, me as a kid, don't play basketball, don't watch basketball, but I'm still balling up pieces of paper, you know what I'm saying, shooting it across the room, yelling Kobe, you know what I mean? And it's just, I think when I think of Kobe, I think of basketball, and he was such a staple for basketball for people everywhere. And it's, even if you weren't indulged in the sport, or even if you didn't follow the sport, you still know who Kobe Bryant was, and you knew, like, the amazing things that he's done, not just for basketball, but, you know, just as a, you know, just as a person, like a person to look up to, like a nurturing person, like y'all saying, motivational person, like, figure. And, like, and it was in on top of that, like, his passing was so surreal and kind of like a wake-up call to a lot of people. Because, like I said, you know, nobody, I mean, of course, you're not gonna know who might pass or what could happen the next day. But the sheer shock, just like, from, I know, at least for me, like, it just got me thinking about life. Like, I forget who album it was, but it was like Amine. I think it was Amine who had like this like interlude about talking about how, like, surreal it was, and how, like, you see someone like that pass away, like someone that successful, that great pass away. So then you start kind of like thinking, like, man, like, I gotta grow up because time is short, you know, time is fleeting. Cause shoot, you never know. Cause it was a fluke accident. Like, it was an experienced pilot. It was an experienced, you know, helicopter. Man, so many other stars that flew on that helicopter. All these other things, and you know, it was just a fluke accident. So it basically, like, I know, to me, Kobe was the face of basketball, and kind of like really my first interaction with basketball. And on his passing, it just reminded me that life is short. Anything could happen to anybody, you know, at any second. So just, you know, it's a wake up call of, you know, use your time wisely, and yeah, just be aware, you know.
Yeah, actually, when I heard about the Kobe news, it was like just a typical off day for me. I believe it was a Sunday actually when it happened too, and I was just in bed. I was just like really no, actually no, wasn't even in bed. I was just actually watching a Pro Bowl game that was on, because literally it was nothing else on TV. I
Yeah,
was
the Pro
watching the
Bowl
trash.
was on
Yeah,
that day.
it
That's
was. It was
right.
this
Yeah,
day,
you're
and
right.
that's
Yeah,
another wild game.
yeah,
Yup.
yeah.
Hey, that's what made that day even more wild, because like they were showing a Pro Bowl game, and then as I'm looking at as the game is just on, I get, you know, notifications on my phone, just like Darien. I'm seeing like the group chat. Someone said, Darien, did you hear the news? I think no, actually no. When I first saw it, I saw a tweet where it was like yeah, it was actually a tweet. It was TMZ actually, but they're the ones that misled everybody. Is saying that it was like Kobe and like other people. I
Yeah,
believe
yeah, yeah.
TMZ,
They made
they're
it
one of the
sound
first
like
people to
it was
break
the
the
whole
news.
family.
Whole
That's
family,
TMZ was the
yeah.
one
And
that
I'm
did
like,
that.
what the hell? I'm like, bro, ain't no way. I was like, bro, please let this be like, that'll be like terrible lie. It would be right. But I was like, bro, not Kobe Bryant. Because like, please let this be a lie, because I'm just like, the sequence of events when it happened, I believe that's what made it more shocking for a lot of people, because the fact that we were hearing about Kobe, and like, you know, hearing about Kobe and how LeBron just broke his, you know, his record and everything, his all-time scoring record. And Kobe literally just like literally Kobe like his one of his last statements, like his communication with LeBron was like actually giving LeBron like credit for like breaking his record, like almost like passing him the torch. That's what's so ironic about this. And then like a day, like literally not even a day later, a few hours later, more likely, like in the next morning, you hear about just Kobe Bryant, like he's gone, like he was in a freak accident, like on his way taking his daughter to a game. Like rest in peace to Kobe, Gigi, and like I believe it was 8 other victims, I believe, on that helicopter with them.
Yep,
It was sad.
it was
Yeah,
like basically a whole
yeah,
family, another family,
yeah,
two other daughters, and then I think like a
man,
sister. It
yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, it's like what in the world? Like out doing what he like Kobe going out and like doing what he loves. Like better take his daughter, like like keeping that tradition going on. And his daughter was pretty good at basketball too. Like I could see it. She had potential like to really like go a long way. And it's just like, what in the world? No way this is real. Just like a helicopter crash. Like, and some people are questioning like why he was in a helicopter world. He's been taking helicopters. Like I've been
Yeah,
knew that.
anyone
So
that
that's why I
knows
wasn't really
what
shocked
Kobe
about
does,
that.
yeah, he's
I
been
wasn't really
doing it.
shocked that it wasn't really weird to me that it was in a like weird to me he was in a helicopter. Shocked hearing about the helicopter crash, yeah, but I was just like, what? It's like helicopter, like he uses a helicopter, like he used the helicopter for a reason, to get to get to his where you need to be much faster. Of course, the LA traffic and everything. And really, to me, it sounded like a safer option. Honestly, you would think that would be a safer option. His own private helicopter. It's almost like one of those things. It's like what can go wrong, but it's like it's so ironic. I was talking about that this morning with my mom. How like we're in this whole pandemic and everything, and like it's like one of those things was like you missed like before COVID, and it's just like a helicopter. I was like, dang, that's what he usually takes. That's where he travels all the time, and this is how he goes out. And like he was just getting started to like his next chapter of his life. And Kobe Bryant always he was in good spirits. Didn't hear about him having any problems with like any other like players, any kind of like tension or beef with any other NBA players. It was just showing his respects and like enjoying life after basketball. And dang man, just out of nowhere. So it was just like it shocked me. And Kobe was a part of my childhood, like literally as a basketball fan. Like granted, I grew up looking at like when it came to basketball, of course I saw like I believe Jordan when he was like just out of his like about to retire, and I saw like LeBron coming up, and Melo was my favorite player. Melo was really like my favorite player. It was one of the first players I saw, but Kobe was always that player because he was like the best player at the time when I was growing up. Like in his prime, like in his like believe what he was really like he had like a 20-year career, 21-year career in the NBA. Like he was in the NBA for a minute, man. Like so, and he was just getting started. Already had like a few rings by the time I could really notice what he was doing. So it's just like that's literally a part of my childhood, just like I don't know where gone. And Kobe Bryant, like his demeanor and everything, and like his Mamba mentality is just like his never quit mentality. It's just like really he's gone. Like you just don't hear about that because Kobe Bryant, it's almost like nah, Kobe Bryant doesn't die. And we've seen Kobe down at like his lowest, like he always finds a way to get back up and strikes back. That Mamba mentality he had, it's just like wow, you just Kobe Bryant and just like gone like in the same sentence, it still doesn't feel right. Still feels like it's just like it doesn't feel real to this day. It just feels like Kobe's just somewhere, just I don't know, man. I just can't believe it. Just looking at his highlights and everything, it just feels like just unreal. It really does. He meant a lot to me, and it's like a part of my childhood. It's just like it's just memories now. And yeah, man.
Right, Evan, you there? You might have stepped away for a minute. Um, so we're just gonna move quickly from the COVID, and like I said, Kobe clearly has impacted so many people, so many creeds of life, walking life, like people that didn't even watch basketball, but he was just so influential in just the way he kept at it, the hard work, the dedication, the process, just always trying to be a step ahead is just truly inspirational. And especially for our generation, because we grew up watching her, like really grew up with him because he entered the league when basically the majority of us was either just being born or weren't even born yet. So he's truly kind of like our MJ in a sense. Like we saw his maturation part. We saw him grow into the player he became, and we saw him become not only a superstar but just the face of the league, become a true inspiration to so many people across the globe. And to see that his second career was going to even be bigger than his first is absolutely crazy. Like, Kobe won an award, and he was going to win many more awards. And it's just crazy how you see someone like that. You think someone like that is like, oh, we're gonna see Kobe grow old. We're gonna see him be pulling up to WNBA games with his daughter. His daughter's in WNBA. Like we was projecting so many beautiful things for him, and just to see what happened, it's fate, man. And that's why more than ever, you show your loved ones love. You appreciate them because you never know when their time is up. You never know when fate comes, and when fate comes, fate doesn't care about our feelings. Fate doesn't care about how we see things. Fate is fate. So we just have to carry on Kobe's mentality, carry on his spirit, and keep pushing. All right, we're gonna go into some quick hitter topic before we go into another real deep one. Sha'Carri Richardson came last, came in last place. Mind you, the reason why me personally, let's just say my take now, get out the way before everyone else gets at what they want to say. I'm not going to heavily criticize her because just the fact that she was able to do the race in the first place is impressive considering all the scrutiny, all the attention that came under, all the pressure that's been on her lately. This is a young woman that lost her mother. This is a black young woman with the pressure to succeed. She's not like any of us. She doesn't have the scope of the sports world coming out on her heavy. Yeah, like I said, she did what she did, but it's a two-sided coin. I'm not going to dive into that. That has been talked about enough. But I'm just going to give her the praise because she was able to do the race. Coming in last is, even though I know that she will bounce back and she'll be better next time because she's been re-getting that confidence. I can see that she's starting to really get herself back to where she was before. She's going to get back to that level. She's going to get back to that elite level she was at. But coming in last place is that's a tough one, man. That's a hard one. It's like, dang. And this is the one we were talking about that was up there, that was top tier talent. And she comes to the end. It's just like it's kind of one of those things like you don't want to jump on her, but at the same time, it is what it is. So anyone that wants to give their thoughts on her coming in last place, go ahead. You guys have the
Well,
floor.
you
Uh,
gotta let me have this one first.
Yeah,
You
Ari,
gotta
go
let me
ahead.
go
Go
first.
ahead.
track
Go
star
ahead.
have let the track star have his moment.
Let's go. Let's go.
Bro,
All right, so this is
let's
the
not.
order. This is the order,
Anybody,
so everyone knows. Ari, Mark,
please.
Sue, Evan, and Darien. That is the 5-man order. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Like anybody that know me know that I ran track for fucking 13 years, man. So I know a few things about the sport. It's a couple things that I want to say on that. And I saw that he sent it and I got excited. Okay, for one, she's 21. Okay. So this isn't some like, okay, this was the last chance she's gonna get to ever race in the Olympics. Oh my god. Like, oh my god, she came in last and Jamaicans cooked her. Oh my god. First of all, like the shorter sprints, it's literally like you could trip up in the blocks for zero point 0.3 seconds and it'll look like that you're like 5 minutes behind everyone else, right? One thing. So perception wise, like, okay, it's last against the Jamaicans, but it's last against Jamaicans. Like those, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a culture in Jamaica, like that's a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy because I think this speaks on like this whole canceling culture that we have going on, where like when a group of like it's like a large group of people that like judge or critiques something that they feel is like either funny or messed up or everything, and they just try to hate on that one individual for something either bad that they did or just trying to like put the individual down. And I truly don't understand that because half the people that saying stuff will never be as good as Richardson is, first of all. And second of all, the whole fact that her smoking weed, one, weed is legal in the state that she's in the state that she trains in. So I think that needs to be taken into consideration in the rules anyways, because granted, you're a professional athlete and you have these rules and you have these expectations. And me being in the military, like I get that. Like it's people coming into the army, from different places. But everyone knows that if you work, everyone knows that if you work for the government, you can't do certain things. But at the same time, when it comes to like lifestyles, because that's what track is on that level, like I just think people need to be a little bit more patient with her athletic potential wise, because she still has many more races, many more years to come. And track people in track are starting to last in the game longer and longer. Like you seen with Usain Bolt and even Tyson Gay, all those people, like they had some longevity in the game and been competing at a high level for a very long time. So I'm looking to see that from Richardson. I think that she's gonna bounce back aggressively, and she can only get faster, especially since she's 21. And I think the controversy should stop, because that's hella pressure on a like celebrity level, on a professional level, and off the fact that that's a 20-year-old young Black woman that's competing and running her heart out. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to see what she does with her future, and I think people need to chill out.
Yeah, and actually, it kind of is interesting. It feels good knowing that we have a former track runner on here that can actually speak on this, that knows about the sport and has firsthand experience. So that's actually tough, though. And yeah, and I
Sure.
agree with just about a lot. Yeah, everything you said, and and I actually learned something, because when I saw that race, I looked like Sha'Carri, she came in last place. She hyped herself up and everything. Yeah, it's like she had a 1 month layoff dealing with the whole, her mother passed away and the whole substance ban issue and everything. And she was able to, she was eligible to compete again. And, and she was coming back from that. So the fact that she was able to even compete again in this event is more impressive. She even qualified for it. So that says a lot, because Sha'Carri Richardson at 21 years old, she's already done broken records. She's an Olympian. People are really forgetting that. So she has a lot lined up for her. And yeah, and I learned on guy how like she can actually trip up on a fault line, like some kind of trip line for 0.3 seconds. I didn't know that can happen in track. And it says a lot, because it looked like she lost worse than what she lost bad. But then when we seen the final time, it was like I believe the final. I can't really think of the final times, but I believe she was like a little over just about a little over a second over like first place though. So yeah, that's impressive how like one little trip can like really make track make you look slower than what you're actually going, but really she was actually going pretty fast. So, and like Sanford was saying, and you all were saying, she has a chance to bounce back, and to me she's just getting started. I think this race was just like a warm-up of her getting her feet back in the game and everything, just like getting conditioned back in the game, getting her body right, and putting all of that, the mistakes she made in the past, knowing that she's on a certain platform, she can't do certain activities like smoke and stuff. It's like when she has a lot on the line, when she really wants to compete something, she has to like prioritize herself and prioritize her lifestyle, and she realized the mistakes she's made. And the fact that she's able to do this with her mother just passing away is like, with all the Lord knows what she's going through mentally, it's really impressive. And I give her credit for it, because she's found a way to stay strong. She's not giving up, or she's not going off the deep end doing what she's doing. Like, she's like trying to still be the best at what best at what she does. The fact that she just like lost like her like biological mother, and that says a lot. So it goes to show she's really like stronger, like mentally, and like as a person, and what we give her credit for. And people who are like clowning her and everything, granted, like the jokes, she deserves to get clowned, because like she was hyping herself up, kind of getting a little too confident, knowing that she had like some good runners coming up, and she ended up coming dead last. It's like, yeah, you came dead last, so they deserve the bragging rights and everything. But it's just like the fact that there was some hate comments I had a problem with. It's like some people like went out the way, had nothing to do with the sport. They were like insulting her as like, a Black woman, cracking off these certain jokes. I'm like, just stop. Yeah, that's the problem I was having with, that's social media for you. But that's all I have to say, that Sha'Carri, like, she came in last place, she should deserve to get clowned for like track, like particularly for a performance. And And but like I said, I give her credit, and the hate is very unnecessary, like the outside hate and stuff like that. And she's going to bounce back. And like you all were saying, like she's literally only 21 years old, younger than I'm pretty sure like all of us, like 1 year. So yeah, she has a long way to go. And when it comes to track, like if you keep your like your body like good condition, you can like go for a pretty long time. And she loves the game, and she has a self confidence, and she's been manifesting herself to like to get it, get back to the top. And I can't wait to see it. We got to like start uplifting, successful like Black women, and to stop being so quick to tear people down. And that's what I have to say about the situation. And I'm just tired of seeing people like with unnecessary hate with it. But I guess that comes with being a celebrity at this point, because now she's basically a celebrity now.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay. So what I have to say about the whole Sha'Carri Richardson thing is that pretty much what y'all said. Like, she's only 21. She's gonna bounce back from this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Of course, yeah, of course. Being in last place, it sucks. It hurts. But at the same time, I feel like this is just a way. This is just a sign for. This is just a sign for like, okay, I got to get back on my feet. I got to do better than I did ever before. And it's like, I just don't get why niggas was clowning her on social media, like on Twitter and stuff. Cause it's like none of y'all people can run as fast as her anyway. So it's like some of y'all don't even know how to do track. I don't even think some of y'all can like keep up with her when it comes to like speed wise. So why the hell are y'all like trying to trying to clown her for being in last place? Again, being in last place sucks. I know that, but like at the same time, it's like she's like she went to the Olympics. She went to the Olympics. She got her medals. You feel me? Like she sure she was in last place, but at the same time, it's like she was able to like keep she was able to like be at that position of where like, okay, I could run with these stars. So even though again I keep repeating it again, even though she was in last place, she was able to like still prove that she can still do better. She's still 21. She lost her mom. We don't know what's going on inside her head mentally, but we know is that she's going to come back from this. She's still young. She's going to come back from all this, and she's going to once again prove to everybody that why she's one of the best.
Darien, go ahead because I don't know if Evan is here.
So I'm not going to get on her too bad. I mean, my only thing is when you talk a bunch of stuff about yourself, like you hype yourself up in the way that Sha'Carri has, the last thing that you can do is come in last place. That's the only gripe I have about this. Well, actually, no, there's another one. And the other gripe that I have about this is, can we please shut up? Can we
Travis is
please?
funny. I heard that.
This man is mad because Shohei Ohtani is basically wet in the bed right now. But anyways, um, like we're talking all this about Sha'Carri finishing in ninth, but we're not talking about how Shelly Ann Fraser finished point 0.5 seconds slower than FloJo's record. No one's talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
But yet we're talking about this, this young 21-year-old woman who hasn't raced in 2 months, and we're talking about how she came in last place. Why are we talking about last place? At the same time, I understand that she is this, like she is becoming this huge star. And I was telling somebody earlier, and going back to what Sue was saying about how he doesn't understand why people are getting on her so bad. Now, granted, I understand LeBron is on like a different level than Sha'Carri. But if LeBron, when he first came
Sha'Carri.
out, if if LeBron, when he first in like his rookie year, if he had a stat line where he basically had a triple single, like he would be getting killed for that.
Wait. Did
He
you
would
just
be
say a triple single?
Yes, if he had a triple single,
I've never
a
heard
quadruple single,
that.
if he had a quadruple single,
Bruh,
he would be getting killed for it.
bruh,
To this day.
you basically just said this nigga make average Draymond Green stats. You're hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I was thinking that Draymond actually.
Bruh, you funny as hell. But Draymond is the king. Like Draymond is the king of averages like 9, 8, 7, and with 5 steals. It doesn't make sense, man.
Ugly stats, bro. Just
But-
ugly stat line.
But it's like if you shit the bed like
Shout out to Draymond,
that,
though.
we're going to get on you. And granted, what some of the hate that Sha'Carri gets, it doesn't make sense to me. Because really, people just mad at her for smoking weed.
Literally.
When half the people, where the majority of the people that are getting on her, they smoke weed.
Yeah, literally.
And
It's just being
I've already
petty.
and I've already said enough about the situation with her not being able to run in the Olympics. I personally thought that she shouldn't have ran, and I'm gonna stand by it. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but it is what it is. But with this, like, yeah, she deserves some criticism because she came in last place. But like Ari said, she is 21 years old, and it's only up from here. You can only get better. You can't get any worse. So I think we should shut up. I think that we should be patient. And the thing that I hate about the sports world is when we have these young stars, and it doesn't matter what sport they're in, we want them to be great right away and every day. They cannot have a bad game.
Right.
And I think we need to pump the brakes, give her some time, because again, she has not raced in 2 months. The Jamaicans are literally just coming off the Olympics about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So let's just pump the brakes. Let's see what she does in the next coming races, and then let's judge and critique her from there. And hell, even as the years go on, because she's not going anywhere.
Agree. And it's like, it's annoying how we live in a society that focus so much on the negative and doesn't even talk about the positive. Like I said, like Darien just said, everyone's focused on Sha'Carri when someone else basically almost broke a whole record. Like, it's just one of these things where it's just like, no matter what, you can, and I was saying to somebody, you could do something great 1,000 times. And this is just anybody in any field, in any walk of life. Just, it's sad how society is turning this. You could be perfect 1,000 times. But that one time you mess up, that's where everyone's going to look and magnify on it and look on that one thing. Like, you didn't just do 1,000 awesome acts, 1,000 flawless victories, 1,000 wins. You get that one loss and everyone's tripping like, oh, what's going on here? I don't know why society's like that, because that's a very, very annoying paradox. And I feel like Sha'Carri should definitely get a chance, because honestly, in my opinion, I do agree with Darren. I think her not racing actually was the good move, because she clearly wasn't in a good mental space at the time. She didn't need to be racing, because if she had raced and she would have fell on her ass and she would have stumbled, whew, people would have been ready to kill her for no reason, because we all have bad days. Just like how majority of the people that critique people, they have bad days themselves. They have losses. They have bad times. They do things that aren't the most satisfactory, but they're so ready to jump on someone else. And that's why I stopped criticizing people heavily unless you absolutely deserved it, because it's just not worth it. See, this is annoying. Why do people love calling me when I'm on the pod? It's very annoying. But yeah, anyway, back to this. I'm gonna cut that out. But yeah, like, it's just sad to see that we focus more on the negative than the positives, and that we can't just give a young person their chance to succeed and be great. So the
Yeah, but
next,
also,
yeah,
oh,
go ahead, go
my bad.
ahead.
I was gonna say one more thing, and
Yeah,
what
go
also
ahead, go
sucks
ahead.
about it is Shelly Ann won, and the reporter had the audacity to ask her about Sha'Carri, like, oh,
Yeah, that's
did you see
disrespectful.
her come? Did you see her
That's
come in last place?
disrespectful. That's the
And she's
ultimate
like,
disrespect.
I'm up here, like I can't, I don't have eyes in the back of my head. But that's all I want to
Exactly.
say. That's
Like, yeah, no, no, no. Of course, and that's another thing. Like, I don't know why people do that. That's very annoying because it's just like you just won. Like, you're the one that's good. Like, you're the one that's ahead. You weren't looking
Media
back and watching.
credibility.
You weren't looking back to, well, oh, let me see what Sha'Carri's doing. But no, you focused to win. This is competition. So it's just like that's very disrespectful. I'm sorry. I would have spazzed on her point. I'm like, I just won. Why are you making the loser the headline? So,
Views, like we just talked about earlier, media credibility is no more media credibility. Only care
like,
about views, clicks. Yep.
licks and lights, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I got two
Yep.
quick hitters, and then I got three kind of ones we can kind of talk about. The first quick hitter, what's your opinion on J.R. Smith transitioning to golf?
I'm proud of him, man. I'm just proud of Jared Smith doing like he's actually trying to, he's done in the NBA. He's actually trying to continue and like do something with his life, do something positive. Because we joke about Jared Smith, crack these jokes about, some of his off the court antics and some of the stuff, like serious stuff, like he's gotten like actual like lawsuits for and stuff he got in trouble for. But yeah, it's J.R. Smith, he's overall like just a good, genuine person, like off the court as we see. He's definitely had made his mark in the NBA, and the fact that he's trying out golf, like, and we're seeing him in school as well. Hey, Brandon, I don't know how successful he's going to be at golf, but he's trying it. And I don't know how successful he's going to be, but I'm just proud that he's actually, making an effort and doing something positive. And we're just seeing like a former NBA player, one of a lot of people's like favorites, meme favorites, like doing something pretty good and in the next, a good way, like post career. So I'm happy for it because with all the negativity, hearing that story, it's kind of random, kind of funny, but I'm proud though. Shout out to J.R. Smith, Henny God.
Yeah. Yeah, JR is the butt of many jokes, but it's great to see him doing something to better himself, to put HBCUs on the map. When I found out he was actually playing golf, excuse me, I didn't think they would actually let him do it. But I'm happy that they did, and I hope he does well. I heard he's a pretty good golfer, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing because I like how Jr. He's kind of at that point where he's just chasing, doing what he likes. And me, I'm a person that I just love seeing people doing what they're passionate about and what they're truly interested in. He could have sat down or he could have been obsessed about ball, trying to get back in the NBA. But nah, he realized that the time was up. And we see a lot of these players, just professional players, they just play much longer than they should because they're all like, this is what I got to do. This is what I got to do. And JR's at the point like, nah, I've done what I've needed to done. I've won 2 chips. I've contributed heavy to one and the other one. I'll be honest with you, I sat on the bench. But yeah, Jared Smith is kind of at the point he's made his money. Now he's going to go in more of the off court things that he likes and what he's interested in. So I'm glad for my hope, nothing but the best for him. Absolutely.
Yeah, agree.
But
Yeah.
I got another one. Tim
I
Tebow
don't know
gets
what happened to
released.
Oh, bro. Hey, but this about to be
Man,
no
let me
one
tell
talking
you,
about this. This is about to be an unserious
let me tell you
subject.
this right now.
This is about to be an unserious subject. Let's talk about it, man.
Nah,
Let's
nah,
talk
nah,
about
nah,
it.
nah,
Let's
nah,
talk about it.
Y'all
Yo,
clowns.
no, you
You
wanna
know
know
what
what's
this
so
is?
funny? You wanna know what's so funny? When I was going through the talk, I said, "Yo, this Tim Tebow one is gonna be the one that's gonna make me laugh because it's so serious."
Tim Tebow
I
did.
ain't even know he
did
was
something
in the
that not a lot
league,
of
bro.
people
When did
did.
he get back in the league?
As a tight, bro, he was a tight end for the Jaguars. Bro, that's the funnier part. He was a tight
Bruh,
end for the Jaguars. Like
bruh.
How you
literally,
get cut
like
from the Jaguars, bro? That's
bro,
tough.
as a tight end, he was and he went expect to go from a quarterback to like a tight end. Like, come on, bro. Like
Oh my
and that's
goodness.
Urban Meyer for you though.
Yo, you wanna know what this reminds me of, bro? But we was talking about this on Sunday, bro. Remember how we were talking about this man Brock Lesnar was a beast on the Vikings, but they literally got rid of him because he was being too rough, bro. Like
in Tebow's case, he couldn't have simply blocked. That's why they got rid of him. This man fell down trying to block somebody. Bro, when they replayed that video, I'm like, okay, yeah, he tried to block that one dude. Literally, he tripped on his own feet. Like, didn't even touch anybody and just like fell down. I'm like, bro, were you serious? Like, are you trying to block somebody? I'm like, yeah, he has to go. This man off the field, boy, gets killed by a defender. I was like, I was praying for Tim Tebow's health, man. Because yeah.
You know what's crazy? Like, I honestly think that if Tim Tebow came back as a quarterback, he wouldn't be the worst quarterback in the league.
He wouldn't.
And that's what upsets me when I saw that he came back as a tight end. First of all, I didn't even know he was back in the league. Like,
I'm surprised. It was breaking news. It was all over the place.
Yeah,
it was all over the place, bro.
Yeah. And you know what? And you know what's crazy? Like, after everything, after all that happened, I am a Tim Tebow fan. Like, and I just want to point out, it has nothing to do with the topic, but like, I usually favor quarterbacks, and nobody else believe in them. Nobody be knowing what the hell I'm talking about until they like get put in a system where they succeed. Like, I've been a Ryan Tannehill fan for the longest, and people were like, bro, it's Ryan Tannehill. He can't throw more than 30 yards. Like, what are you saying? He old, he done. And then he go to the Titans with an actual offensive line and goes stupid. And it becomes like the second most accurate quarterback in the league.
Yeah, he wasn't a problem in Miami.
But now he on the Titans with one of the best offensive lines, by the way. And he eating like that.
And he got weapons. And then he got Julio Jones. Like, yeah, bro, he got weapons.
Yeah. And Tim, I think Tim Tebow could be a quarterback in the National Football League.
I think he actually could, and he wouldn't be bad. He'll be around average, which is not bad.
But the tight end, come on now. They set him up for failure, though.
They literally did.
Yeah,
They literally did. They literally set him up.
Yeah, they set up. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they expected. What Urban Meyer thought, how that was gonna work, man. Like Urban Meyer.
I mean, hold on, but in his, hold on. There's a lesson here. Can you name a Jacksonville tight end? I'll wait.
Nope. He probably did it.
I don't even pay attention to that team, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That team is utter garbage.
Name a Jacksonville like tight end.
I literally can't.
Because I can name a receiver, it's not the actual tight end. You get guys some receivers. The Jaguars got some like actual decent receivers, but the tight ends. That is a good point, though. Yeah, he probably did it for probably get him more hype up.
They was down bad.
But they signed him. They signed him as a publicity stunt, bro. That's what they did. They signed him for
marketing. Like, we gonna be on the mat. That's a Jaguar.
No. That's some trash. That's some trash marketing then, because I didn't even know he was on the team until he got cut.
No, I made headlines. Like, yeah. Hell yeah, man. Jags, they. It was
like, what?
That block.
Tebow running a route? What does that even mean?
He didn't even run a route. He didn't even get a chance to run a route. He was in there for blocking.
Again, all I gotta say is Tebow pulled off what a lot of people would not be able to do.
That's true.
But then again, though.
So for that,
but he didn't.
There is a lesson to be learned in all this. Just because you big don't mean you could just go play any position.
That's
that's why Tim Tebow only make it past week 1 of the preseason. That's why he ain't even make it past the first cut. Like
the
just
first play, more like.
He said the first play. I'm dead.
And for everybody asking me, do I play football? Since we're on this topic, everybody asking me, do I play football? No, I'm just fat.
Yeah,
you're actually funny, bro.
I'm just
funny.
I don't play football. I'm just a fat motherfucker. Deal with it.
And so it's
because
just a fat ass.
Evan Burr at Bowie, people do be assuming that, thinking Evan plays like football.
I went to St. Louis. All my cousins thought I played football too, bro. No, it's okay to just be fat. Damn it.
I don't play football. I'm just fat.
I'm just a big man, bro. I ain't the big fella. There's a difference.
That's like how you see someone that's like 6'5" and 6'6". You ask them if they play basketball. When they say no,
that man could be a whole scholar. That man could be a whole scholar, but he just born tall. Leave him alone.
Hey, another thing. Another thing is, I just think it's so trifling that they blasted him for getting cut. Like, you ain't have to announce that to the world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he would have got cut, and nobody would have even known that he came back.
Bro,
No one would have known what team he was on. Nobody would have known if he got cut. But no,
people were so mad that
Yeah,
he
the
even got a
mask.
tryout.
Right. People really hating on Tim Tebow, bro. Like, what? It's
Bro,
like,
but
Bruh, it's
people have
like
hated Tim
wild.
Tebow like basically throughout his whole career.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people just hate
Yeah.
this man. Like, even
Yeah.
when he was the quarterback in the league, like, people,
But
oh my
yeah,
goodness,
but the-
bro. It's crazy.
But the thing about Tim Tebow is he had the opportunity to go out and try out to be a tight end a long time ago, but he chose not to, and then he retired from the NFL. Went on television, and then decided that he's going to try and do baseball. And
Yeah.
he didn't even make it out.
He
didn't make it out
definitely got passed around for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's crazy though? And this is the last thing I'm gonna say on it. Yeah, you notice how these quarterbacks are playing are really similar to Tim Tebow. Like the whole multiple quarterback situation. Like when you think about it,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying he invented it, but when you look at how like Pat Mahomes plays or how Lamar Jackson plays, how they make moves with their feet, but like Tim Tebow was definitely that dude before this whole.
He was ahead of his time.
Oh yeah, he was ahead of his time,
bro.
He was.
Sure.
He was. And you notice
Like,
how
and then that ain't no small dude that was out running them
Right.
linebackers either.
You notice how in sports they always hate the player that's kind of like a mold that's not there yet. Like they're a mold that's ahead of their time.
Sure.
Like I'm gonna bring up Chris Bosh. People were hating on him because he literally is the one that started this whole stretch big revolution. And not even the stretch, but stretch big that can also protect the rim too. He started it, and people were misconstrued. She was like, "Bro, you should be in the post. You should be going at the rim." And he's like, "Nah, man," because he had to. When you have LeBron and D Wade on your team, that's like that's two of the best slashers of all time. Like everyone else is a shooter, so it's just
Are we
like,
talking about the Velociraptor?
oh my god, Jesus. Those memes were undefeated. I'm not even about to hold you. Them
Those
big
are some
three,
hilarious
them big three Miami Heat memes were hilarious, bro. I'm not even about to hold
That's
you,
what Chris Bosh did for having that long ass neck.
bro. And oh my, and the thing is, Chris Bosh don't even sound like he don't even sound like a Chris, bro. He don't sound like a Chris, bro. He sound like a white dude named Dennis in a black man's body, bro. I'm sorry, like
He snapped.
like for real, bro. Like I respect Chris Bosh. I'm not even making fun. It's just like when you think of like his name and him, I'm like, what? That's a different guy right there. But like, yeah, back to my point. Like Tim Tebow, he was ahead of his time, and literally when he was playing, people were bashing him, climbing at him, going at him. And now a lot of these young quarterbacks that's coming up in the league and really making an impact, they play very similar to Tim Tebow. So
Yeah, for
I
sure.
definitely do agree with that.
The thing about Tim Tebow is Tim Tebow could do all of that, but he wasn't a consistently good thrower.
Yeah.
You know, like he wasn't consistently good throwing the football.
Neither is
which why they
Andy
tried to
Dalton,
get him
but
to
he's
sink.
starting for.
Hey.
He said,
God damn it! Oh, stop playing with my man.
You're not doing that.
Fucking
He
Gardner
said, no.
Minshew
He
is
said,
the-
we're not doing this
is the
today.
quarterback.
Not tonight.
Minshew mania. It's like no.
I'm
Trevor Lawrence is starting week one.
I'm hip. That Minshew mania was a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
We all know the Minshew mania joke, bro.
Hold on,
Gardner Minshew, bro. The fact
yo,
that's
hold
funny
on,
'cause
hold
we're
on.
talking about
Hold
QB
on, y'all.
competition. I'm
Hold
like,
on,
bro,
y'all.
Gardner Minshew's name is just so funny, bro. Just
Hold
his
on,
name
y'all.
is just like
Y'all said Trevor Lawrence starting week one. Here go my shocked face.
Come on, go ahead.
Bro, show a picture of Gardner. Bro, no matter of fact, what's that meme? It shows Stephen A with the Gardner Minshew headband, the hair, all that. Someone made a meme with Stephen A with that, so that shit was funny.
Oh
That's
man,
funny.
with the porn stash and all that. But
yeah, that porn stuff.
Yeah. Hold on,
Oh
let me see if
my
I can change my
goodness.
background to it because that shit is actually funny. I got it on my
Alright.
phone. Hold up.
So that's
bro.
Tim
Yeah.
Tebow.
I'm getting the Jacksonville Tebow jersey, bro. I don't care what y'all talking about.
Bro, that would be funny. Bro, that's one sell. Matter of fact, let me get one too. That's a good idea. We all got to flex that joint.
Bruh.
Like just buy the
bro.
Jackson
Where's the
Tebow jersey
Bruh.
and just
Where
display
can I
it, barely
find
wear
one? Where I actually want to buy
Hey,
one
yo.
now, bro. I'm not even about to hold.
Where's that joint?
That would
Somebody
be
said-
hilarious.
Somebody said Tim Tebow is the. Somebody said Tim Tebow is the white collar Kaepernick, bro.
Chill out.
The what?
Hey, bro.
He is the way they treating him.
Hey, bro. I see a
He
comedian
is
like
the
a
way
joke.
they
It's funny.
treat him, though.
And then they had 2 pictures with them kneeling. I said,
Hey,
"Oh, y'all
yo.
funny."
Chill out, yo. Hey, I never thought about that, yo. That's
Wild.
actually funny.
Oh my god.
I'm the white Colin Kaepernick, bro. Hey,
No,
yo,
it
that
even
was-
sound
Tebow-
right. What the fuck?
Yo, that's
Tim Tebow
Hey, people-
is an icon, bro.
This-
Don't
this-
care. Tim Tebow will live
Yo,
on in my heart.
people.
Yo, this Tim
I'm gonna tell
Tebow
my kids
topic.
about
This,
Tim Tebow.
That's why I'm happy I bro. This is gonna be actually a funnier topic because there's so many jokes you can crack off at Tebow.
Bruh.
It's just like
this
funny.
is that
Yeah,
was
bro,
literally
like,
the most
That man was
serious topic. bruh.
accidentally good for 6 games, bro.
You know
Oh,
what? Shout out to him for
please.
defeating the Steelers. Hey, he had that miracle game against the Steelers, bro. Literally, he
Man,
knocked the
what,
Steelers
bro?
out.
God.
That's wild. He knocked the Steelers out the playoffs, so I give him credit for that. Like he had that play. Shoot,
I will
that's
give
what
him
we-
that.
that's-
I was happy as hell when he
I
did
don't
it.
even
I don't like
I
the
don't even
Steelers.
remember what team. I don't even remember what team Tim Tebow was originally on when he was good. Like,
the
I don't even
Broncos when he had
remember.
to play.
Was
Like
it the
Broncos
Broncos?
knocked off the Steelers. Yeah, it was the Broncos. Denver.
He was-
That's the whole kill.
He was drafted to Denver. He won a playoff game with the Broncos.
Yup.
Then he went to the Jets, and then he
Jets,
went
that's
to the
what I was
Eagles,
thinking.
and
I
he
was like,
retired.
I remember
With the
the
Broncos
Broncos.
when
I
he,
was
like,
like, I
when he had
forgot
that
the team
play.
after
Yeah.
this. The Jets. It's the Jets. But
Shit,
Mhm.
Zach Willis.
Oh,
Zach
my
Nobody
God.
really
Willis
remembers him
was
with the
only
Jets because I
dude
honestly
that'll
ain't doing
ever
nothing with the
play good for
Jets. But like the Broncos, that's when he had that big moment. You know, it's like, yup, Tebow, you know, the GOAT. But it's like, yeah, other than that, Tebow, it just like I said, I think it was ahead of his time. Like, because when he did that play, it was a very good scramble when he did that play, and we see a lot of those plays from players like Russell Wilson,
Right.
Pat Mahomes scrambling. He was just ahead of his time. honestly.
RG3.
I'm starting to realize that. Yeah, RG3, unfortunately, with him, you know, his injury, like that's another what if of RG3. You know, we talked about that before. It's like we listening back to our other episodes. It's like, yeah, it's like some of these QB was just ahead of her time. Like you know, and it's just sad, man. Yep. And the next topic we're gonna talk about, but moving on from that, we also have a big topic coming back. I don't know how much you guys are in WWE, but CM Punk is back, you know, in AEW, and I don't know how big of wrestling fans are, but like that's a big one. Like,
Hold on.
wait, hold on, what? Oh yeah, but yeah, Punk is in an AEW, and that's actually like a big shock because knowing how CM Punk is with you know how he was as WWE, and like the fact that WWE, like Fox Network, like gave him another opportunity to be back with the company. CM Punk, you know, he was with Fox Network as like a basically an analyst talking about the WWE and everything. And he, you know, he did his thing with that for a while. And now it's like Punk basically said, yeah, screw WWE, like F this. Like, no, nah, I'm done with y'all. You know, I'm not fooling with y'all. And yeah, WWE did him dirty, and he made it clear that he basically burned all bridges with them by joining AEW, because that's like literally a slap in the face to the WWE with CM Punk by him joining them, man. That's why, to me, I'm like excited, and I'm definitely going to be tuning into AEW like more and more on a weekly basis, knowing that CM Punk is actually like competing again, and knowing how entertaining it's about to be. Because when CM Punk is involved in any kind of wrestling promotion, it's going to be a pretty good storyline, and you're going to see him at, like, to me, at his best. Because we haven't seen CM Punk like wrestle in a minute, but I know he still has it, and best believe he still has that passion for the, like, you know, the sport. And it's so sad with him joining AEW because, like, it's not like CM Punk like hated, you know, the company. He just like he basically hated the people that ran it, like the front office, like the company itself, WWE, like what it was, and the fans and everything loved it, but the people that ran it mismanaged them, did them dirty, like just set them up. Like it's just like, come on, man. So AEW, yeah, he did what he had to do, and AEW is that, you know, uprising wrestling promotion that we're seeing, and they're like, you know, on the rise, and we're seeing them like sell out shows in arenas. So hey, that's big, a big W for AEW. No pun intended.
Bro.
I know he better not get in that octagon again.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That man was terrible in UFC, dog.
Yeah, he was bad in UFC.
Lord.
Yeah, he got whipped. That's why the one reason was like, he was like, yeah, he went to WWE Fox for a minute. He realized, yeah, UFC ain't the move for him.
He older too. That ain't no young dude.
Yeah, it's not like he was a young. Yeah, it's not like he went to UFC all young. Like he was kind of sort of past his prime fighting wise anyway. If he went into UFC and when he was like, a young, but he was already like winning titles in WWE. So if he's starting UFC young, that would be a difference because he was like known for mixed martial arts in general. Like in general, that was part of his wrestling style. We saw that displayed. So yeah, I mean UFC, that was never really going to take off too much with that. Like.
I just want to say, when CM Punk came into AEW, that was probably one of the biggest pop-offs I've ever seen in a long-ass time. Well, besides when John Cena came back to WWE, but like, niggas was crying, dog. I was one of them niggas too. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
hold
that
you.
was wild, bro. I was like, bro, these never really have grown men in the crowd. I was like, that's how
what I'm
big he is, man. Like,
yeah, grown men crying, and I was one of those grown men too. I was like, my boy's back, because like CM Punk is like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Like, I just love it when he's on the stage, when he's on the ring, right, and he's like talking and shit. Like, the way how he just presents himself and like how he shows that he's the best and like the best at what he does and the best at he is, and it's just like, bro, this dude is the dog, like, for real. So like him coming back to AEW, it was just like, damn, I get to see CM Punk again. I might watch AEW again just because of CM Punk, and it's just like, it's just amazing. And all I have to say is that Vince is probably shaking in his boots right now, dog.
No, Vince is pissed off right now. Vince is pissed.
Exactly.
I can't wait till Samba comes back because, like, he's never a big WWE fan. I just know, like, this is a basic slap in the face to Vince. And I commend CM Punk for it because what Vince put CM Punk through, this was like CM Punk finally got his, honestly. And you know what? I feel as though this hurt WWE in a way, seeing CM Punk join AEW. That this kind of sort of hurt like WWE in a way for sure. I'm just like, yikes. Yeah, because AEW, they've really been buzzing lately, and their ratings, they've been getting better. And WWE ratings has not been the best, like, at all. Like, let's be realistic. Their ratings definitely dropped in pretty much since 2016.
WWE has gotten a little better. I ain't gonna
better. Yeah, they were at a low point in the mid 2010s, like, because when Shane McMahon came back in 2016, that's basically when like they were reaching a low point because he even said it himself. It was like, ratings are getting down. Like after pretty much Seth Rollins lost that championship, he got injured. WWE ratings they were like at a dip. Yeah, they had pretty much had no big superstar because at that point that's when they only had like Sheamus like as champion. And Triple H had to come back basically. And so like CM Punk on AEW, like that. I feel as though puts WWE at a disadvantage, low key, because AEW is about to get that buzz, and CM Punk. That's why we all love him so much, because CM Punk,
Darien,
he's not your typical like, he's not your typical overstar. Like he didn't have to put on his whole big super buff image and everything like that. He was the voice of the voiceless, and that's what we love CM Punk, and he always backed it up. About with the whole mainstream he could be himself and like not have like fix a whole like puppet image like WWE try to put him on. And that's why I was, and that's why it's such a big deal, man. And that's why he made his mark, his mark in sports, like in the combat sports in general, in the entertainment business, man. Yeah.
All right. Once Big Su said a big man is shaking in his boots, I started looking for this picture.
Bro.
He has the green screen background with McMahon shaking in his boots, bro. I can see the boots shaking in the picture. Oh my.
Bro, this was when The Rock got Rikishi to
in the corner. Yeah, I remember that. That was that. Bro. That was that whole storyline. That joint was wild. It's like The Rock and Rikishi came out there.
It's all right.
And like literally, Vince McMahon, like they get on his knees and literally had to like shake his ass in his face. I'm like, bro, on live TV. I'm like, that was the most like crazy moment. Probably one of the most crazy moments in WWE, seeing that. Oh my goodness. There's so many crazy moments, but we can like talk about that we can make that a whole nother subject one day, but
bro, I would love that.
Bro. Yeah, CM Punk though, man. That's why I can't wait to Sampa. I'm pretty sure Sampa going to make that a subject though, sure. Like when for our next episode, just some crazy moments in WWE. Probably have some guests on it too. Honestly, we can talk about that for like a minute. Yeah. But I don't know what the next subject was after that. He stepped off for a sec. Tried to edit some of this out anyway, but
Yeah.
Hey Evan, why did they try and start the wave and it failed?
Ooh.
So we have to find too.
It's so silly.
Oh yeah, the FDA approval. So next up, moving on from that though. So how do y'all feel about the FDA becoming like the first official vaccine? A company like the actually fully have it 100%
You talking about
approved.
Pfizer?
Pfizer. Yeah, how do y'all feel about that? Yeah, they officially made 100%. FDA officially approved it, and so therefore, there's no excuse now, as in like for people not to like get Pfizer for this particular,
I mean,
which they actually been known as like the
well, I
best
wish
one
they-
in general. But yeah, I don't
I
know.
wish they
How do y'all
announced
feel
that
about it?
like before. I wish they announced it before I got Moderna. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah,
Like,
it's gotta come out late. But,
but
yeah,
I think I understand. Okay, so I just want to say that I'm completely neutral on the subject because since I'm in the military, like, and I was getting deployed. You know what I'm saying I had to take the COVID test to get deployed.
right.
For the vaccine.
Vaccine. Yeah.
So I'm not anti-vaccine because I know it's made for people who with like a weaker immune system or people that can't fight it. The vaccine fights the whatever it is fighting against for them. So I see the value in vaccines. However, I'm not a vaccine guy. I think if you're gonna release something to the public, whether it be dire circumstances or not, it needs to go through all of the phases of testing. I'm not saying that they didn't, not saying it was a shortcut, but that's something that you announce before people get it. And you didn't hear nothing about Moderna. I mean, like,
that's
granted,
your
I'm
body,
still here,
right?
I'm kicking, I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? But
it's your health at the end of the day,
like,
right. I feel you.
Like
But
you should have been got approved. Like y'all so pressed
I would have took that instead.
different other stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Now hold on.
I had the option.
You want to know why? You want to know why the vaccine took so long to get approved? Because they didn't know whether or not states would mandate it. The whole reason it got approved is so that states and the federal government can mandate the vaccine. But again, you knew states like Texas, Florida, and like the South in general was
a bunch of red states.
Like the South in general, you knew or at least suspected that they was going to be on that bullshit that they was going to say, not only do you not have to take the vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask when you go inside. Like they was just going to full on act like COVID didn't exist, and knowing that is the reason why that the vaccine didn't get approved by the FDA until it already has. And as far as like
at this point.
And as far as like testing, it's not exactly like the scientists were starting from scratch, because this COVID isn't exactly like the first of its kind. And there was like research on RNA vaccines, which the COVID vaccine is, going back to the 90s. So it's like there was already research in play. Like there was already research on this type of vaccine and this type of virus, and like that was already going on. So basically it was just like you got to update the notes a little bit and figure out what can keep this virus at bay.
For sure. Yeah, I wish I knew that before I took Moderna. I'm sure it's fine, but still.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because honestly,
right. Because honestly, really, I just took what was available, like most convenient for me. But yeah, hearing that though coming out is like does make me like realize, dang, which Pfizer or I could have known that before, which I kind of heard prior. I don't go off what people say, but I did see some like articles here and there saying Pfizer was like had the highest success rate, because before it was like some of these vaccines didn't have like 100% success rate when they first came out. They were still going through the trials and and everything. But now Pfizer is like had like didn't get like the higher success rate in general. But now hearing FDA fully approved it, and now hearing these states have to are really have no choice but to start some of these mandates, because this these new variants coming out. Really, the Delta variant's the main one that they're really the more and more concerned about, because spreads faster, and also affects you heavier. So that's why they're bringing back this mask things, and they're saying that you can still get affected with the vaccine, but you won't experience those effects as much. And That's why they're saying, get vaccinated so you can be protected out here, because it's not like we can just magically wave this strain away. It's still people that can get affected and everything, and by this. And so, here in Pfizer, like actually getting approved from the FDA, which that's stuff that goes in our system every day. They approve everything we usually do. Some of the stuff they approve may not even be the best, but we're still here, and like for the most part, hearing that, this kind of makes me feel better, saying like knowing that we have a vaccine during our current health crisis, and that people can probably be feel a little bit more comfortable, because I understand why some people don't want to take the vaccine. That's why I'm just like you, bro. Honestly, I'm for it. Like I'm saying, if you can get it, but at the same time, I'm not knocking people for like not getting it, so I can understand their concerns, like and it's just like, my thing is, if you're not going to get it, just do the right thing. Don't be out here like being irresponsible. If you're not going to get it,
exist, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're not going to get it, just
don't act like COVID don't exist.
And yeah, that's what I'm just saying. That's why I'm neutral on it. Okay, like okay, cool. You're not going to get it. Like at your own risk, don't out here. Don't be stupid. Yeah, like worry. I hope you're wearing a mask. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
And the energy's already shifting. But watch how quick it goes from, man, the FDA ain't even approved this yet, and y'all taking it. It's gonna go from that to, man, y'all really out here trusting the FDA?
And bro, we can never win. We can never. That's why it's like, social media and society in general these days. It's like, yeah, man.
It's the blind leading the blind, man. That's the problem. Yeah. Like literally, people like, it's literally like this past year showed me that people don't really look or do research. They just talk. Like they just say things,
and that's fine.
Amen. At the end of the day, what some of y'all call y'all third eye, I call an asshole.
He snapped.
I'm dead.
Hey, in the words of Ari Wilson, people going people, bro. People going people.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely,
like.
Definitely. And that goes into the.
And if I'm keeping it,
go ahead, Evan.
I'm gonna just blindly guess the first state that's gonna mandate the vaccine, and it's gonna be a blue state that like not a lot of people live in. So my guess is it's gonna be Washington. Like
I'm surprised.
The state of Washington.
Why them? Like, because really,
because I mean, they have blue state, and not too many people really live there outside of Seattle. So it's
right, though. You're right. Their population isn't that big. Yeah.
So it's like it's probably gonna be them or somebody like New Hampshire.
I was thinking maybe like Connecticut. Well, like they're one of those blue states.
I was thinking Connecticut or Vermont. I was thinking one of those two.
Yeah, like one of those small. Yeah,
or maybe them blue collar states.
Or maybe more like a state, probably like New York. Maybe like a major state. Only New York is like the major like blue state. I can see that because they have like the most population.
No. California is the biggest blue state.
Oh, California. Oh yeah, I mean California
is the biggest blue state.
California.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, honestly, the reason why I don't say Cali's a blue state, but honestly, it's more conservative. It's more conservative in Cali than what you think. Granted, majority of the blue state, but really, they just don't choose to vote. Honestly, because like they have like the hillbillies.
California, it's like middle of the pack.
Don't let Cali fool you.
They gonna be middle of the pack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. though. It's so weird about Cali because it's so big, but somehow they just break that, over that liberal spot, but at the same time it's still more conservative than what you think. But I can see like New York and Cali be one of the first people because they've been the most strict about this whole COVID thing, honestly, especially like Cali, like in New York in particular, those two states. I can see them making them fully mandated, be the first states to make the mask like fully mandated, like in general. It's like no mask. It's like, yeah, you get fined, or like, yeah, they're making that joint like a law damn near, bro. Yeah, I can see one of those.
I'm about to say a rule without enforcing is just an opinion at that point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. To the final topic of today. I'm gonna read it again. Okay.
How important? We be on longer than what we think.
Right.
We ain't really going that long. We started late. Like we started like 7:10 or something like that.
No, we started at 7:06. It's been 2 hours. It's been 2 hours.
You got on kind of late. Yeah, I think you got on late. Yeah. Some of us day joint, yeah.
It's been 2 hours. So
we out here keeping Ari up to like 4 a.m.
Nah, facts.
Oh dang! I didn't realize you.
Yeah, I'm definitely out of the country, boy.
Yeah, this man halfway across the world, man.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning over here.
Yeah, hey, respect. You still hopping in the podcast.
He out there chilling with them camels.
He said the camels.
I'm
I'm,
dead.
Not the
I'm
camel.
weak.
Nah, boy.
He said the camels.
Nah,
Oh,
boy. It's
no.
not even no
He
camels
out
out
there,
in
he
this
out
desert,
there,
man.
he out there cooling with Aladdin and Jasmine.
Like shit.
Oh, not a lie.
Arabian Nights.
Hey, y'all just brought back memories, bro.
Yo,
I'm
come on,
stupid.
bro. I know y'all just did not
Nah.
just do that. You did not just do that.
Man, me and
Anyway,
Evan
that's
was,
who you.
we was on the
Anyway,
same
that's who you
wavelength.
are
We out
applying
here
the magic
harmonizing,
carpet.
dog.
Yeah, bro. I'm
Oh
a
my
little
God, this is
irritated
fun.
that y'all said it at the same time in the podcast. Like, actually recorded y'all saying it at the same time.
I'm dead.
Hey, yo, that's funny.
Uh,
But let's get
I
to
don't
this
know what
last
to tell
topic.
you.
Let's wrap this thing up like a smooth little present. How important is it to have a place to vent and release frustration? Because not having that, you can only take so much. And when you blow, when you hold everything down and you blow, and you like you hold it down. When you blow, man. You implode. Everything comes out. So, in your opinion, how important is it to have a place to vent, to let off frustration when you feel
oh,
it, so that you can
this is
get
a
it
good
off your
one.
chest?
Oh, yeah,
This is a very good
I
one.
feel like
I ended it with a
I'll
good
let you go
one. I was
first.
like, let me make these dudes
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, because I can talk about this for a
I
minute, but
I
yeah.
already know what I'm about to say.
All right,
'Cause, like,
Evan, go ahead.
Yeah,
Since
You,
first-
you, you already know what
Darien,
you're about to say.
Darien
Go
be in
ahead.
his feelings, bro.
Because I mean, first of all, it's like we always say on this podcast, men have feelings too. So like, there's only so
And
much
that's fine.
there's only so much that we could take, like physically and emotionally. And when like our emotions like rage and stuff piles up. All right, when our emotions like rage pile up and whatnot, then and we ain't got no place to like let them out, then that's when we start doing things and we start saying things that A, we don't really mean, don't really intend to, and B, we can't take them back. We can't take them back and see that we regret things that we regret. So like, so what I'm trying to get at is if you bottle up your rage and your anger for long enough, not only is it gonna hurt you, it's gonna hurt other people. It's gonna hurt other people too. So I don't say that to guilt trip everybody listening. I'm just saying that I'm just speaking from personal experience here. So if you have somebody to vent to, that's major. So you could keep your head on, like you can keep your head level and you can keep thinking about everything in perspective. And you can actually like say everything that you mean to say with all your heart, all your soul, and all your chest. And more importantly, so that you can stay you, so that you don't act out of character, so that you don't act out of character.
Nah, I agree though. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark
I'll
and
let
then
you go.
Ari. Mark and then Ari. No,
yeah, I'll
Mark.
go.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. You
Yeah,
had
I'm
it. I
gonna
don't want to
be
ruin
quick.
this, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like, yeah, basically what Evan, because like really, we all need like that's why I say we talk about how like it's important to vent to people and everything, or important like to have someone around to make sure they're good. But sometimes it's always good to have like your alone time. It's like have your own space. Like that's why I just love having a house to myself sometimes in general because
It's good
like
to
we all like yeah.
What the hell is that word? Y'all know the word. I can't say it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but you always need that meditation time. Yeah.
There we go. I can't say it. I'm gonna just let Darren say it. Darren said it for me.
That was funny.
Yeah,
that was funny.
We need going line like we need our times like to let it all out. Just like to catch a breathe or like let it all out. Sometimes let out anger and tension we have. Sometimes you may need a punching bag or whatever way. Just make sure it's in like a healthy way. And because when you don't, and you just keep on getting like hit with like 1-2 punches. Because for example, earlier today, that's how I felt today. Had a rough day, but I just shook it off. I knew I had more going for myself. It's just like nothing like one little day like affect me, and yeah, and like really this podcast is like an outlet for me. Really, I feel like at peace when I do this podcast with my brothers and everything because I can actually get on here like speak facts and also like I'm actually being productive with it. So we all just need like an outlet, things like to let it out, it just like or just to go off when we just feel like we need to spaz. It's very important, and we really definitely like our alone time because earlier today we had to like talk about something like was important, but I'm just like, look, I'll just need my time for myself, to clear my head and everything. I just got like a long day, like I'm 7 hour day at work and it's just like mad busy and it's just like, yeah, I would just need, like time, a couple hours. I'll be on later. It's as simple as that. And yeah, you'll hear from me later on because sometimes you really do need like to relax your mind. Sometimes when you think you're good and you feel as though you need to like, like talk to people, sometimes it's just like, nah, your social battery is actually low. You just need like to relax your head because you don't want to come off, as like aggressive or like end up doing something like out of nowhere where you just reach a breaking point and you just go off and people can look at you as like something is wrong with you or like deem you as crazy and that shouldn't be the case. And that, yeah, that's not the case. So yeah, it's always good to like a point to have like that outlet for yourself, like a healthy outlet at that, man. Don't do an outlet way out here like harming yourself, like harming other like people or like along with it. Just this is very important. It's always important to have like alone time, time to yourself, and just that's really when you're at your happiest. Really, like the time to yourself and like do things that make you happy, like looking at your favorite TV show or something, listening to your favorite music and things like that. And for me, it's really like watching sports and stuff like that because that's like really a part of like what I like to do when I'm trying to do in general in my career field. So yeah, like just make sure it's a healthy outlet, man. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with having like that outlet. It's something, doing something to help release that anger or tension you have. And yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having a long time. Yep. That's all I have to say.
No, for sure. He definitely snapped and touched on a couple of my little notes that I had on that. I definitely appreciate this topic because I know with the whole mental health thing being brought to light. Um, hmm, I had so many thoughts and so many things to say, but then when you get on it, you're just like, ugh. But
literally
I
happens to me all
think,
the time, man. You could.
yeah. So like, ugh. But I feel like having that support system is like truly important because like everyone was saying, it's life is a lot. You feel me? Like life is a lot and a lot of things happen. And I know personally, like speaking from my experience, I know it's been plenty of times where I either like I don't have nobody to talk to, and then I've had times where I've had hella people to talk to, but I just don't feel like talking to them. But support systems are important because they keep you saying, like you were saying, and they allow you to kind of like breathe. Because I like to think of stress as like a balloon, similar to what Sanford was saying. Like we can only take so much as humans, and a lot of people don't don't think about that. Like, and that's why I'm glad it's being brought to life nowadays, and a lot of celebrities, especially, are coming out talking about it because I think that's an underlining problem with a lot of like suicide rates and things like that, and depression is because people lack these outlets. Like I know I'm surrounded by brothers and sisters that like truly care, you know what I mean? And I tie that into a lot of what I do in the sense of like you got to be there for people because you never know. And then similar like we were saying earlier, you got to be there for people because you never know what can happen. Like you just gotta be there. And I think just to sum up my thoughts, because I'm everywhere with my thoughts right now on this topic, but support systems are important because it's just I think bottom line, it's a way of showing love. And I think more love needs to be shown, especially when it comes to support for people who have problems, because that can prevent and help a lot of mental health issues. So it's really important.
And basically, when I mean support systems, like I'm talking like you don't always have to have like an opinion on everything I'm going through. You don't always have to respond. Like just just that I'm comfortable getting stuff off my chest with you. Like you could respond, you could leave it on red. It really don't matter here because as long as I feel comfortable getting stuff off my chest to you and knowing that you not going to try and like Like you're not going to try to like judge me for it. You're not going to try to like throw dirt on my name for it. That's really big for me. That's really big to me.
All right, Sue, you got anything to say about it, brother?
Yeah.
Go ahead, my
Mental
dude.
very important, especially when it comes to us guys too, because it's like it because it's like in society we were pretty much taught for some reason to be like more closed in about our feelings or be nonchalant about our feelings or like you know you're not a man if you like if you hold you're not a man if you fucking express your feelings and all that shit like bro like mental health is very important like as a sensitive guy like myself it's like you gotta express how you feel you gotta like say what you have to say you gotta like especially when it comes to like venting because I vent a lot I especially vent on Twitter and then people will respond some people won't at the end of the day I'm just releasing my feelings I'm just saying how I feel and stuff like that so all I have to say is mental health is very especially when it comes to like especially when it comes to us guys yeah
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback on that. Like, just having ways and outlets to let your feelings out. Like, I think, like, I started to really, like, learn and to be aware of this stuff really last year during the lockdown. And I know, me and Mark used to link up like every other day and just talk. Like I tell Mark he can just come over and we can just talk because that's really like all we needed was like we just needed someone to talk to. He needed to get out the house because he had a lot going on. And we all just had a lot of stuff on our mind. And like just having that person that you know that you can trust, that they're not going to make you feel like they're not going to make you feel like shit for feeling the way that you do. Um, that they're gonna listen, that they're gonna hear you, and that they may be going through the same thing that you're going through, just in a different way. And that's why, like, I appreciate, you know, the podcast. Guys like Sanford, Mark, Evan, shout out Deja, because those are the ones that really like when I'm really going through it. I know I can come and I can talk to y'all. Y'all give me insight. Y'all actually talk to me, and sometimes like Sue, I'll go on Twitter and I'll say certain things, but I try to keep that. I try to keep it off because I don't really like putting my stuff out there. However, like just for you, Sue, because I just want to say it before we go off. Like I love seeing you like come into yourself, bro. Like this, like the you that I knew back at PG, like you've taken leaps, bro. And I just want to say, like, I'm very proud of you for just
thank
everything that you have,
And that's
like
facts.
like the growth that you've gotten, bro.
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you
I told that man that this last time I said, bro, you've taken steps, man, and I'm proud of you. Continue progression, man. Definitely.
I still think you should be a comedian, Sue.
Oh
Yes,
oh
no, no,
bro,
no,
you
no.
are
Yeah, yeah,
hilarious.
you would be hilarious. 100%. Like you have an uncanny comedy to yourself, man. You definitely got to
thank
tap into that.
thank you
And see, that's the great thing about it. Because the reason I brought this topic because it's more than just the venting and the frustration. It's just really my big point is surrounding yourself with the right people that give you the positive energy to see things that
Mm.
you don't see in yourself. They're like, listen, man, you have this thing about you that you don't even realize. You know how many people have told me that? They're like, you have an energy that brings people together. I didn't know that for a long time. People tell me, listen, man, you're a natural born leader. People listen to you, people respect you. I'm like, people listen to me? Me? What?
Yeah,
Absolutely crazy. But like I've
Yeah,
noticed
bro.
that over the past like couple years, that's just true. I just have this natural leadership charisma. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tap into that. And it's just good to surround yourself with people that they see things in you some things you'll never see, and they will positively tell you, "Listen, man, you can tap at this and you can do this. Keep going. I know there's gonna be roadblocks on the way. I know there's gonna be times when people are gonna disrespect you. I know there's gonna be times when you don't even feel like you can do it, but we're behind you and we got you." So that's really the big reason. Not even just starting this podcast, but I just love doing this because we're having conversations that people naturally don't have, but we're doing it in a way where we're all bringing our own perspective. We're all bringing our own mindsets because all of us are six different individuals, but we all could bring something to the plate where it's like, okay, with my own experience. That's why I brought up the Sha'Carri thing because I know that Ari is a track runner. So he'll have a different perspective talking about that than me, that's someone that's never really been in that space. It's just like how shout out to Raina, our guest we had last week. I wanted her on the pod because she is a legit artist. She had signed with a record label and everything, big time record label, all that. And she was coming from a different perspective than me, that's someone that's not in that space. And I learned something. That's why I love doing this because I have people on, we talk, we have fun, we have good conversation, but I can learn something. I learned that I can learn something from everybody I have a conversation with because there's something that they do that I don't do and I'm not tapped in. And they'll say, "Oh man, listen, yeah, everyone's saying this, but I'm gonna give you my own perspective." And so you could really think about it and let it maturate in your head. So that's why I enjoy doing this, man. This is fun. And I appreciate both Ari and Big Sue hopping on, man. This was great. This was awesome.
Oh,
And
no
I'm
doubt. It won't be the last. Big
I
Su.
got two questions for them. I'm gonna start
Mhm.
doing this. This is what I'm gonna start doing. But at the end of every pod, we have a guest. I'm gonna add them a particular question for them, let them
Yeah,
answer, and
Q&A.
they'll
Yep.
dive into it. So my question for Ari: Name you is you in a 7v7. You're going up against a whole nother football lineup. Who is lining up with you, bro? Who you lining up with? Who's on your squad?
You talking about like you said football?
Yeah, like imagine, we on the streets. You know how they do 7-7 on the street? We on a regular football field, let's say
Mm-hmm.
about 56 yards around the way. Who you picking to be on your side, man?
You talking about like from the NFL?
Yeah, from the NFL.
Nice, nice. I'm taking definitely taking Tim Tebow at quarterback for sure.
What I do is just say that.
I'm dead. This man say you taking Tim Tebow at quarterback, bro. I thought Howie Roseman was dead. Hey, shout out to Howie Roseman.
I'm dead.
No.
But go ahead, bro. So
Let's
that's
see,
one.
7-on-7.
Yeah. So it's you and six
I
other
think
people.
I'm going. Yeah, I think I'm going. Ooh, that's a good one. I think. Well, I'm going. Pat Mahomes first of all, quarterback, because most dynamic quarterback in the league can do
Can't go
everything
wrong.
under
Can't really go wrong,
that can
yeah.
go on the field.
Mhm.
I think I'm going. I'm thinking I'm going DeAndre Hopkins at wide
Ooh.
receiver
Mm.
because you got
Arguably
a
top.
lot of people don't know that's a little bit of speed. That's that length, and the hand size is ridiculous. I'm going Larry Fitzgerald on the other side because like he don't drop nothing.
Prime time, yeah, Larry Fitz was unstoppable. Prime time Larry Fitzgerald was just crazy.
That's
like,
yeah, he don't drop nothing.
Like literally,
I
you
got
cannot stop prime time Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Christian McCaffrey too for tailback.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going Christian McCaffrey. I get because he could run every route. Plus he quick, shifty.
Good yards from scrimmage.
Yeah, he got moves. Yeah. He got moves for sure. He got jiggy, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I'm even going to surprise some people with this. I'm taking Cole Beasley on my team for sure. Like that's a random name.
You gonna take him over Stephon Diggs?
Beasley? Yeah, because Cole Beasley, like people be forgetting how, like Cole Beasley is good. It's like everybody say like Cole Beasley, but like nobody runs short routes better than Cole Beasley. He run a short route, he find a gap. Yeah, he'll find a gap in the defense, and you forget that he's there. He's like that. He's like a dude from Kuroko basketball. Like, what's cuz name? The dude with the passing. Yeah, and I think the
Oh,
last
I know what you're
name.
talking about. I know what you're talking about. I forgot his
Yeah,
name now.
but I think last player. Hmm. I think I'm cause I need some defense on there. So I think I'm gonna go. I don't know if I want to go. I think I'm gonna go Honey Badger.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Honey Badger
The honey
on there.
badger, the old honey badger. Tyrann Matthew.
Yeah, because he can play. He can play corner. He can play safety. He can play linebacker.
But he does everything on
I
the
would have
defensive
said.
end, bro. Like honestly, like on the defensive
Facts.
backs.
I would have
Like
said
he is
Dion. I would have said Madden League. You know what I'm saying? 2019, 2020 Dion Buchanan. Because you use the Dion Buchanan on Madden, and it's a wrap. But yeah, I think that's my squad right there.
That's a solid squad, man. Respectable. Great answers, man. But all right, Sue, I know you are one of the biggest anime people I know.
All right.
Say I am someone that is trying to get into it. Give me 3 shows I should watch and why.
You
Okay.
should have asked me that question, man.
Oh no,
Alright,
I
three
wanted
shows-
I wanted to ask 2 particular questions for the 2 of you. That's why I asked the question.
Oh
But
yeah.
the criteria is you cannot say any of the following shows. You
All
cannot
right.
say Naruto. You cannot say Dragon Ball Z. You can't say One Piece. You can't say Bleach. You can't say Yu Yu Hakusho. And you cannot say My Hero Academia. I
All
don't
right.
want to hear those shows. So
Too mainstream.
Okay.
mainstream, everybody knows them.
All right. So the first anime I would definitely recommend is probably Jujutsu Kaisen. That shit
That's a
goes.
good one. That's a good one.
That is like probably the top 5 best animes of probably last year. But like that shit really goes hard. The opening goes hard. The animation goes crazy. The story plot is amazing. Like I'm telling you, like JJK is probably one of the best animes for this generation, dog. Like I'm so serious. I'm so serious.
Jujutsu Kaisen. That's a good one.
All right.
I've seen it. That's a really good one. Definitely recommend that. But 2 more.
Another anime I would recommend is probably my favorite anime of all time, Haikyuu. It's a volleyball anime.
You talk about that one.
Oh yeah.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
That one's pretty good though.
Love Haikyuu, bro.
I don't like that.
Oh my god, like that's my anime, bro. Like when I saw that joint on Netflix, I just said, "Fuck, I'll give it a try." Like first episode in, I was fucking deep. I was fucking like hooked on that show, bro. And afterwards, I just kept binging it. I watched, and then I started watching the rest of the anime. And then I started watching the OVAs, and I read the manga. Like
you went full dive in.
Yes,
because I always say, people, if you're reading an actual manga, bro, you're a fan of the show. I don't care what anyone says. Like literally, like I said, I'm one of the dudes that, not to throw you off, but I had the Death Note manga way before a whole bunch of people had it because I was a big Death Note fan. Like I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have all 4 volumes.
I tried that whole on my composition book a couple times. I ain't gonna lie. Like, damn,
this man thought he was L.
I'm like, damn, that shit ain't work. My teacher's still here.
My teacher's still alive. God damn it.
Man, no. But one more show.
Demon Slayer. It's a good start. It's a good start for people that like anime. I'm so serious. Like some people may think it's not that great because of the story. And I agree, like sometimes there are moments where I'm like the story is but like other than overall, it's a great anime. Like
that literally reminds me of JoJo's. JoJo
started off. Ain't that the one where like the bad guy like looked like Michael Jackson?
Yes.
I am not fooling you at all.
That's the one.
At all.
I'm weak.
Oh my God.
He do though. That's like
I be forgetting that motherfucking name, but he looks smack like Michael Jackson.
Dude, bro, I'm not even about to hold you. That's why I laughed with serious. I was like, bro.
And you know what's crazy? Like, I don't know why non-anime people love Demon Slayer so much. Like, out of all the anime, like that movie blew up in every country. That movie was number one in the world when it came to TV.
Hold on. And the whole killers, I got another anime. I'm surprised you ain't mentioned. Dr. Stone.
Yes.
Dr. Stone is a good
Yes.
one.
Oh yeah.
Dr.
I
Stone
didn't
is
watch
good.
season 2, but yes, Dr. Stone is amazing. Dog. My God.
We could have a whole nother episode about anime.
Oh no, man, that's exactly why I just wanted to. I wanted to whet the appetite. I wanted to whet the appetite, man, because there will be a part 2. Y'all, come on, we'll talk about that for real.
Hey, bro, you gotta invite me on the. You gotta have me on the anime one, bro.
Oh no, of course, no, yeah, no, y'all the first 2 I'm hitting up. Be like, y'all ready?
yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been great.
An hour to travel the country.
It's been great. It's been awesome. This was amazing. Thank you guys for coming on. And shout out to the Noti Gang. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the friends. Shout out to the supporters of the pod. Do you all have anything to say before we hop off for today?
I just want to say that I am pissed off, one, because Shohei Ohtani struck out 3 times and gave up 2 home runs in the first 2 innings.
Oh my.
And about 5 minutes ago, there was an Eagles chant at a fucking Orioles game.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Hold on.
Eagles, fly. In
Hold on.
Baltimore,
Hold on.
fly, Eagles, fly.
Darien. So the game.
I wish I was at
So
that game, bro.
Darien.
Bro.
You said fly, Eagles, fly chant in Baltimore. Would you
Yes.
care to tell the people what city the visiting team is from?
Los Angeles.
So how in the fuck does that make any type of sense?
You know what this is, bro?
Everywhere.
You know what this is, bro?
Fly,
No.
Eagles,
You know what this
How,
is, bro?
Mo?
Because it's the Eagles.
How?
It's a baseball game.
Bro, do you know what
Like-
it is, bro? This reminds me of fucking when WWE, when niggas used to come in to chant the most random things, bro. Like niggas chanting CM Punk for no reason. Like what, bro? Like what's good?
Nah,
bro?
no, it'd be worse than CM Punk. It'd be like these unknown wrestlers. It'd be like caught to a band.
Yeah, no. You know what the one that be killing me,
Yeah,
bro? When they be passing the beach ball around, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, that's
like, where they
like
get the
ultimate
beach ball
disrespect to the
from?
game. And let's be real, it's the daggone Angels and the O's. Who the hell was supposed to be there? Like, I'm sorry, but fly, Eagles, fly, man. You know, he knows why he's there, bro. Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Angels and the O's.
We will catch y'all next week. Y'all have a beautiful one. Stay easy, stay beautiful.
All right, y'all. Be safe.
Yeah, y'all be safe.